My wife is a beautiful CEO. This video is purely for entertainment and does not infringe on copyrights or laws. The rights to the novel and image belong to the original author. We do not claim ownership. Don't like waiting and want to listen to this fanfic in full now? Subscribe to our Patreon, where you'll find the best fanfics. Chapter 701. The 7th Master of the Cheng family. Liu Xiaoming apologized in a panic. He explained, 7th Master, calm down. You misunderstood. We, the Liu family, have no intention of provoking the Cheng family. However, before he could finish, Cheng Xianxin sneered, don't bullshit me. He said sarcastically, you, the Liu family, have no intention of provoking, but you come to my door and set fire to my Cheng family villa. If you want to provoke, should you send people to attack my Shangjing Shanhe garden directly? Shangjing Shanhe garden is where the core members of the Cheng family live. Its area and feng shui layout are not inferior to the ancient emperor's palace. When Liu Xiaoming heard this, cold sweat instantly flowed down. He bowed again and said, 7th Master Cheng, you are joking. The Liu family has always been on good terms with the Cheng family and has no intention of making enemies. Liu Xiaoming looked at Su Chen and was about to explain the reason. Cheng Xianxin interrupted directly, your Liu family is only interested in making friends? Haha. So what you mean is that it is my Cheng family that is only interested in making enemies and provoked you, right? Your Liu family came to our door and it was all my Cheng family's fault. Cheng Xianxin has been worried about Cheng Yuheng's affairs and he was not in a good mood. He also asked the family, but there was no news. He guessed that Cheng Yuheng must have had a very serious incident, otherwise there would be no movement from the family. Covering it up so tightly can only mean that the situation is already extremely bad. As a result, he rushed to the capital of Dongzhou province and encountered the big guy of the Liu family and Yu Xinbei making a scene at the gate of the Cheng family villa. Although Cheng Xianxin didn't know Su Chen and didn't know what happened, but in his eyes, whoever started the fight at the Cheng family first was at fault. Encountering this kind of scoundrel, Liu Xiaoming's face was full of pain. Don't dare, 7th Master, that's not what I meant. Liu Xiaoming was so depressed that he wanted to vomit blood and beads of sweat kept sliding down his forehead. Facing Cheng Xianxin, all his communication skills, schemes, and strategies were useless. Unless he could beat Cheng Xianxin. Otherwise, there was no way to make him talk properly and communicate properly. At this time, a loud shout came. Arsehole! Cheng Xianxin. On the side, Liu Yuanwu had already climbed up from the ground. He looked at Cheng Xianxin with resentment, his face full of anger and frustration. Cheng Xianxin, my Liu family is also well known in Shangjing. Isn't it too much for you to do this? Liu Yuanwu muffled his voice and said dissatisfiedly, a sneak attack from behind. What kind of skill is it? Liu Xiaoming heard this, and his face turned pale. Liu Yuanwu's words, didn't they provoke the other party's anger? He hurriedly looked at Cheng Xianxin nervously. Cheng Xianxin sneered, oh, my sneak attack is not a skill? In that case, you rely on the cultivation of the middle stage of the physical body Shanren realm to bully a person who has just entered the physical body refining Shanren realm, and it is considered a skill? Cheng Xianxin is a spiritual power immortal master. When Su Chen took action just now, he keenly captured the fluctuations of Su Chen's power and knew that Su Chen had just entered the Vajrarahat realm. Liu Yuanwu was scolded in the face and couldn't help but blushing. He pointed at Cheng Xianxin and said angrily, Cheng Xianxin, are you sure you want to fight me for this stinky boy? Haha. Cheng Xianxin sneered, if you don't accept it, let's fight again. Cheng Xianxin said, took out the compass, and pretended to continue the battle. Seeing this, Liu Xiaoming hurriedly stopped Liu Yuanwu. Even Yu Xinbei, who was injured by Su Chen, had to calm down and dissuade Liu Yuanwu. Liu Yuanwu's strength is extraordinary, enough to rank in the top 50 of Shangjing martial arts. However, he is only stuck in the top 50, and he can never be the opponent of Cheng Xianxin, who ranks 10th. If he can fight to kill Su Chen, Yu Xinbei may even seduce Liu Yuanwu. But now with Cheng Xianxin here, it is obviously impossible. If we forcefully take action again, it will most likely only reduce Liu Yuanwu's combat power, which will be counterproductive. Master Cheng Qi, we have no such intention. Yuzin said softly, we are indeed wrong about what happened today. However, this is also because Brother Yuanwu's eldest son was crippled by this man. As a father, Brother Yuanwu is furious and can't help but want to take action, which is understandable. Puff. Hearing this, Cheng Xianzhen laughed. Haha. Isn't this bullshit? He glanced at Liu Xiaoming. Aren't you standing here? This is called being crippled. However, since you have said it, if you don't cripple him, wouldn't it be a waste? As he said this, Cheng Xianzhen was about to take action. Liu Xiaoming's face changed instantly. He cursed Yuzin Bei in his heart. The guy in front of him is a bastard. Can you be more careful with your words? Liu Xiaoming waved his hands and explained. No, no, no. Master Cheng Qi. Mr. Yu is not talking about me. He is talking about my brother. When Liu Xiaoming said that Liu Xiaohan was his brother, his jaw muscles twitched, and a flash of humiliation flashed across his face. Oh. Cheng Xianzhen heard this, and looked as if he had suddenly realized something. It's that illegitimate child? I thought my biological son was abolished. Big guy. It's not your biological son who was abolished. Why are you so anxious? At this point, Cheng Xianzhen looked at Yuzin Bei again. No. I think you seem to be more anxious than this big guy. Could it be that you created that illegitimate child? Hearing this, Liu Yuanwu and Yuzin Bei's faces turned red and pale. Master Qi, don't say anything nonsense. Yuzin Bei's face darkened. He suppressed his anger and said, since the Cheng family is determined to protect him, there is nothing to say today. Goodbye first. After Yuzin Bei finished speaking, he pulled Liu Yuanwu and left. Liu Yuanwu originally wanted to argue with Cheng Xianzhen. After all, the face of the Liu family must not be trampled on like this. But Liu Xiaoming and Yuzin Bei did not give him this opportunity at all and pulled him away. With Cheng Xianzhen here, they can't take advantage. If they continue to talk, it will only provoke conflicts. This is a scene that neither family wants to see. Cheng Xianzhen looked at their backs as they left and said coldly, next time you come, prepare the coffin and go outside ways. The three people paused, but did not stop. The figures of Liu Yuanwu and others disappeared. Su Chen came over and bowed to Cheng Xianzhen and said, thank you for your help just now. Although the man in front of him looked unruly, he helped him just now. Su Chen naturally wanted to thank him. Are you Cheng Ji? Cheng Xianzhen looked at Su Chen and felt a little unfamiliar. The Cheng family has a strict hierarchy and a tradition of raising family generals. Generally, if they are not direct descendants, they don't even have a proper name, and they are replaced by the surname Cheng plus a number. Chengson is a descendant of the Cheng family's side branch, and he doesn't even have a proper name. This shows how strict the Cheng family's rules are. Cheng Xianzhen has an impression of the Cheng family's direct descendants. Before, he always thought that Su Chen was the new general of the Cheng family. Su Chen said loudly, I'm Su Chen. In an instant, Cheng Xianzhen's face darkened. He frowned. You are not from my Cheng family? The second update is here. I will update these to the chapters today. It's considered a short leave. Please forgive me. As long as I'm not too busy later, I will resume at least 3 updates immediately. Please forgive me, everyone. I wish you all great success in the year of the rabbit, and a lot of money. Good night, everyone. Chapter 702 Seventh Master cried. What the hell? Cheng Xianzhen's face suddenly looked bad. He moved his feet and looked around Su Chen. Cheng Xianzhen looked regretful. Damn. Aren't you a member of our Cheng family? Then just now, didn't I act in vain? Damn. Loss. Big loss. He was a very protective person. Seeing the Liu family fighting in the Cheng family villa, he was furious on the spot. He didn't think too much at the time and chose to act directly. What a result. Su Chen, this guy, is not a member of the Cheng family at all. He was busy for a long time just now, and he offended the Liu family. What a gain. The more Cheng Xianzhen thought about it, the more he felt at a loss. Su Chen smiled helplessly. How about I call that big guy back and let him beat him up again to vent his anger? Ha ha ha. Hearing Su Chen's words, Cheng Xianxin couldn't help laughing. He pointed at Su Chen and said, "You are smart. You let me fight your enemy again. You treat me as a free thug. I thought you would be very brave and say, 'Let me beat you up.'" Su Chen laughed. "Haha. Do you think I'm stupid? I can't beat you at all now." If Su Chen were to face Liu Yuanwu, he would still have some room for maneuver. But against Cheng Xianxin, he might even have trouble escaping. Although Cheng Xianxin's attack just now was very short, Su Chen could see it clearly. This person's strength is not a little stronger than his own. In particular, the power of the Feng Shui compass in his hand is even more amazing. Even though Cheng Xianxin didn't attack him just now, Su Chen still felt a kind of oppressive momentum of a huge wave. Even though Su Chen thought he was not weak, he had no confidence to resist. That kind of terrifying pressure was like other people encountering Su Chen's Godwill fist, feeling that they were insignificant and unable to resist. After Su Chen finished speaking, Cheng Xianxin raised his eyebrows slightly, because he heard clearly that Su Chen said that he couldn't beat him now. Now, Cheng Xianxin narrowed his eyes and looked at Su Chen. "Just now. Do you still think that you can surpass me in the future?" A mocking smile hung on the corner of his mouth. Su Chen said lightly, "The world is not yet determined. The victory or defeat depends on people. Who can say for sure whether we will win or lose in the future?" He has his own pride and doesn't think he is worse than anyone else. Even if the opponent is a Shangjing Xianjiao, it is the same. What he lacks now is only time, not talent. Good boy. So arrogant. Cheng Xianxin laughed. The next second, his face suddenly changed, and he said viciously, "In this case, I will beat you to death now, so that you won't surpass me in the future." After that, he raised the compass, and was about to hit Su Chen. Su Chen was also confused. There is such a reason to do it. He was about to activate his mental strength and vitality. Suddenly, a full-bodied voice sounded. "Alright. Old 7, stop making trouble." Cheng Xianfeng's figure came out from behind. Seeing Cheng Xianfeng coming out, Cheng Xianxin immediately restrained his momentum, and his face changed to a nonchalant look. He chuckled and said, "Second brother, you haven't come out yet. I thought you wanted me to beat this kid to death." Cheng Xianxin's mental strength is strong, and he had already sensed that Cheng Xianfeng had arrived. Even when he was teaching Liu Yuanwu and others a lesson just now, if he hadn't taken action first, Cheng Xianfeng might have taken action. Of course, he only sensed that his second brother was there after he beat Liu Yuanwu away. In fact, Cheng Xianfeng actually arrived here one step earlier than Cheng Xianxin. But the reason why he didn't come out was because he noticed that Cheng Xianxin was coming. He concluded that Cheng Xianxin would take action, and Cheng Xianxin's action was more appropriate than his. Cheng Xianxin's character has always been unrestrained and casual. His action was a personal grudge and would not rise to family relations. If it was Cheng Xianfeng who took action, the impact would be magnified, and the Cheng family and the Liu family might become real enemies. Seventh brother. Cheng Xianfeng looked at Cheng Xianxin. Although he and Cheng Xianxin are brothers, they are not born from the same mother. But in the entire family, their relationship is the closest. Cheng Xianfeng looked at his seventh brother whom he hadn't seen for a long time, and wanted to see if the other party had lost weight or gained weight. As a result, after taking a look, Cheng Xianfeng silently moved his eyes away. Forget it. It doesn't matter whether you are fat or thin. The most important thing is not to irritate your eyes. Cheng Xianxin also saw Cheng Xianfeng's eyes, but he didn't care at all. He asked casually, "Second brother, who is this guy? He is so arrogant. He even said that he can beat me in the future. You know, I like to teach a lesson to those guys who think they are awesome every day." Cheng Xianfeng glared at Cheng Xianxin. "Be quiet." As he spoke, Cheng Xianfeng turned around and introduced to Su Chen. "Mr. Su, this is my seventh brother, Cheng Xianxin. He has always been casual. Please be more tolerant." Su Chen said nothing. In any case, Cheng Xianxin has helped him. Then, Cheng Xianfeng introduced to Cheng Xianxin, "Seventh brother, this young man is called Su Chen. Don't make a fool of yourself and offend Mr. Su. Su Chen is a genius in medicine. He is the genius doctor I invited to treat Yu Heng. Now, Yu Heng is in danger. His life depends on him alone. At this time, Cheng Shai and Feng would fight anyone who dared to provoke Su Chen. That's why he gave his seventh brother so many warnings. What? Cheng Shiansen's face changed when he heard this. He put away his frivolous look and asked anxiously, second brother, tell me clearly, what happened to Yu Heng? Why is he in danger? What happened? Where's Yu Heng? Where is Yu Heng? Cheng Shiansen's eyes were red, his voice was trembling, and he even had a hint of crying. This was completely different from the unruly and reckless man just now. Cheng Shianfeng sighed. He knew that Cheng Shiansen had the closest relationship with Cheng Yu Heng. Come with me, Cheng Shianfeng said, and took Cheng Shiansen to the backyard. At this time, it was just time to give Cheng Yu Heng acupuncture. On the medicine refining side, Lu Daokan and Bincheng were watching, and Su Chen followed. Soon, the three arrived at Cheng Yu Heng's room. Seeing Cheng Yu Heng's lost look, Cheng Shiansen's tears fell click. Su Chen was stunned by this scene. How did the non-mainstream shaman who was unruly and unyielding suddenly become a cribbaby? The contrast was too shocking, and Su Chen needed to adapt. What Su Chen didn't know was that Cheng Shiansen had always regarded Cheng Yu Heng as his sister and daughter. Seeing Cheng Yu Heng like this, he felt worse than if he were in trouble. He even wished that he could suffer in place of Cheng Yu Heng. First update. Chapter 703, 9th level formation. Cheng Shianfeng squatted beside the bed, looking at Cheng Yu Heng who was barely breathing, not daring to speak or move. He seemed to be afraid that if he moved, Cheng Yu Heng would be startled, and her weak breath would be cut off. Move aside, I'll give her an acupuncture. Su Chen stretched out his foot, and kicked Cheng Shiansen who was shivering on the bed. Cheng Shiansen was kicked by Su Chen, and his eyes suddenly widened. You little brat, you dare to kick me. When he saw the silver needle in Su Chen's hand, Cheng Shiansen's momentum suddenly weakened. He turned his head to look at Cheng Shianfeng and asked, second brother, this kid is so young, is it okay? Don't treat Yu Heng to have problems. Cheng Shianfeng glared at him and said, don't talk nonsense. If it weren't for Mr. Su, Yu Heng might not have been able to hold on until now. These days, Yu Heng has relied on Mr. Su's acupuncture to keep her alive. Move aside. Cheng Shiansen looked at Su Chen in surprise. Then, his face changed, and he put on a flattering smile. Come on. I'll get out of the way. Su Chen was amused. This Cheng Shiansen is a wonderful person. After Cheng Shiansen got out of the way, he looked at Su Chen with a nervous look. Every time Su Chen inserted a needle, his face would twitch, and he would make a hissing sound of inhaling cold air. It was as if Su Chen's silver needles were piercing him. Cheng Shiansen didn't breathe a sigh of relief until he saw Cheng Yu Heng's breath stabilized. Cheng Shiansen grabbed Cheng Shianfeng's arm and walked a few steps outside. He glared and asked, who is it? Second brother, who made Yu Heng like this? I must kill him. Cheng Shiansen's eyes were wide open. With his purple afro, he looked like a mad lion. Is he from the Liu family? Before Cheng Shianfeng could speak, Cheng Shiansen made his own guess. He turned around and rushed outside. I'm going to kill Liu Yuanwu now. His idea was very simple. Cheng Shianfeng said that Su Chen could save Cheng Yu Heng, and just now, the people of the Liu family were targeting Su Chen. It was obvious that the people of the Liu family did not want Cheng Yu Heng to be saved. Cheng Shianfeng hurriedly grabbed Cheng Shiansen. Seventh brother, stop right there. Cheng Shiansen glared. Second brother, what are you afraid of? Isn't it just the Liu family? If they dare to attack Yu Heng, then we will fight them to the death. Bastards. If you are afraid of forming a mortal enemy with the Liu family, I will go by myself. Anyway, I, Cheng Shiansen, have always been like this. Seeing his seventh brother like this, Cheng Shianfeng was moved and helpless. It's not what you think. Cheng Shianfeng hurriedly explained. After he explained Cheng Yu Heng's situation, Cheng Shiansen slowly came out of his out-of-control emotions. This time, I called you over to let you cooperate with me to set up the formation. It's convenient for Su Chen, and can complete the treatment. Cheng Shianfeng just said it simply, vague about the seal. He was not worried that Cheng Shiansen would be bad for Cheng Yu Heng. After all, Cheng Xiansun, the uncle, cares about Cheng Yuheng as much as he does. It can even be said that who in the world is willing to die to protect Cheng Yuheng? Apart from himself and his wife, it is probably his 7th brother. However, it is precisely because Cheng Xiansun loves Cheng Yuheng so much that Cheng Xianfeng is worried that he will not be able to hide his thoughts and let others see the clues. Second brother, you should have called me over earlier. Cheng Xiansun blamed Cheng Xianfeng a little. He only knew about such a big thing happening to his niece now. Cheng Xianfeng looked at him and didn't explain. At this time, Su Chen had finished the treatment, withdrew the needle and stood up. Cheng Xiansun hurried forward and asked anxiously, "How is it? How is it? Has Yuheng's condition improved?" Su Chen nodded. Cheng Xiansun was relieved. However, Su Chen's next words made him feel relieved. "Now, I'm only giving her acupuncture to maintain her life, to keep her spirit in spirit, so that she can hold on until the formation is completed." The implication is very obvious. It is impossible to get better. It is lucky that it does not continue to deteriorate. Cheng Xiansun was anxious when he heard this. "Then why are we still standing there?" He turned to Cheng Xianfeng and said, "Second brother, what formation should be arranged? Let's start now. Yuheng is like this. Let's not waste time." Arranging the formation earlier can also make his precious niece suffer less. Now, his mind is clearer, and he understands that he was just worried and confused, so he doubted Su Chen's ability. His second brother Cheng Xianfeng, what kind of person is that? With hair, he is smarter than a monkey. He is as wise as huge. In Changjing, how many old guys can't take advantage of the second brother? If Su Chen didn't have some real skills, Su Chen would not be able to treat Cheng Yuheng, let alone see Cheng Yuheng. More likely, he couldn't even get into the gate of the villa. So, Cheng Xianfeng didn't waste time questioning Su Chen. The second brother asked him to cooperate with Su Chen with all his strength, and he cooperated with all his strength. Isn't it just arranging a formation? Cheng Xiansun was very confident. However, facing Cheng Xiansun who looked anxious, Cheng Xianfeng shook his head. He said, "Wait a little longer. There is still one person who hasn't come yet." Upon hearing this, Cheng Xiansun couldn't sit still. He said anxiously, "Is there anyone else coming?" "Second brother, can't we to arrange a formation?" "What kind of formation is this? Is it so difficult?" "8th level formation? It can't be a 9th level Feng Shui formation, right? The way of formation also has different levels. From level 1 to level 9. Level 1 formations don't even require any mental power. As long as you can read the sand and regulate the key, you can arrange it. This is what the general Feng Shui master arranges, and basically you can learn it as long as you have a formation diagram. Although this formation has an effect, its power is very weak. It is more effective in regulating the key along the wind and is not offensive. It also takes a long time to work, but the shelf life is very short. For level 2 and 3 formations, you need to have mental power to reach the spiritual seed stage, and you can observe the stars and see the situation before you can arrange it. This kind of formation can be used with the help of weak momentum, and the effect can generally be felt in 3 to 5 months. However, this kind of formation has no attack power, and most of them can only be used to assist in cultivation and improve one's own strength. For the Cheng family, formations above level 4 are considered entry level. Because only the 4th level formation has attack power and can be used as combat power. And above level 4, each level is very different, and the power of the formation is doubled. Similarly, the requirements for mental power are naturally getting higher and higher. The formation plate that Su Chen got from Liu Beicheng is a 4th level formation. And the 5th and 6th level formations can also pose a threat to the strong in the realm of gods. But this kind of formation can only be arranged by transforming into a spiritual god and breaking through to the spiritual power immortal master. As for the higher level 7th level formation, it is even more powerful, and it can be said to have the power to change the world. In the entire Cheng family, there are no more than 5 people who can arrange a 7th level formation. Before, the compass that Cheng Xiansun used to deal with Liu Yuanwu had a 7th level formation engraved on it. But that was just the entry level 7th level. and because it is engraved in the compass, its power is limited, and it cannot fully exert the combat power of the 7th level formation. As for the 8th level formation, it may take all the strength of the Cheng family to set it up. As for the 9th level formation, it is even more legendary. This is not a question of whether it can be set up, but it has not been passed down at all. The power of the broken 9th level formation is comparable to that of the 8th level. What's more, the complete 9th level formation. Second brother, what level of formation is it? Cheng Xianxin asked again. Cheng Xianfeng did not answer. He frowned and looked solemn. Cheng Xianxin suddenly panicked. He swallowed his saliva and asked in a trembling voice, second brother, it can't really be a 9th level formation, right? Second update. Let's update here for today. Good night everyone. I'm really sorry that there are too many things to do during the spring festival. I have to visit relatives tomorrow. Brothers, forgive me. I wish you all a good spring festival, good drink, and fun, and not to gain weight. Chapter 704. Don't you understand? Cheng Xianfeng did not answer. He frowned slightly. The formation diagram that Su Chen gave was at least an 8th level formation. Fortunately, the Qiankan Feng's information focused more on borrowing the power of heaven and earth and the power of the stars, and did not require high magic weapons. Otherwise, even Cheng Xianfeng would find it difficult to put together. What's the matter? Seeing Cheng Xianfeng's expression, Cheng Xianxin hurriedly asked, second brother, don't you think it's really a 9th level formation? Cheng Xianfeng directly took out the formation diagram and handed it to Cheng Xianxin. This is the formation diagram. Take a look for yourself. Cheng Xianxin took the formation diagram and looked at it with doubt. Although his style of doing things is unreliable and a little cynical, however, his formation talent is not bad and can even be called a genius. Therefore, Cheng Xianxin quickly saw the mystery of the Qiankan Feng's formation. The frivolity on his face gradually disappeared and slowly turned into solemnity. Damn it. This formation. It seems that we are not sure to make it with just the two of us. Cheng Xianxin sighed. He looked up at Cheng Xianfeng and asked in confusion, second brother, who else did you ask for help? Cheng Xianxin felt that, even if his father came, it would be difficult to be sure of this formation. Cheng Xianfeng said lightly, Zhangtian, Zhou Wanqiu and Mansion, Xianxi Mountain. Cheng Xianxin's eyes lit up when he heard this. Yes. How could I forget him? He was overjoyed and clapped his hands in admiration. 20 years ago, Zhang Tian was known as the number one in formations. If he is here, there should be no problem. As he spoke, he looked at Su Chen again. Hey, who are you? Where did you get this formation diagram? Cheng Xianxin's eyes were full of curiosity. Even the Cheng family doesn't have this formation diagram. It's not that the level of this formation is high, but it refers to the degree of mystery. Generally speaking, the higher the level of the formation, the more resources are needed to set up the formation. However, the Qiankan Feng's information provided by Su Chen is obviously of a high level, but the resource consumption is surprisingly low. In a sense, this formation is equivalent to using Wu Ling's engine to build a sports car. It's simply amazing. If the Cheng family's 8th level formation is deployed, it will require a huge amount of resources. Although the magic weapon used by Su Chen in this formation is not bad, it is already extremely economical in comparison. Hearing Cheng Xianxin's question, Su Chen slowly retracted the needle. He looked at the Cheng brothers and asked with a puzzled look on his face, is this formation so difficult? Su Chen also heard the conversation between the two brothers just now. However, he was very puzzled by their reactions. Isn't it said that the Cheng family's control over the formation is the first family in Shangjing? How to arrange this formation? One moment you say you are not sure, and the next moment you say you want to ask for external help. As for being so strict, if Su Chen was not responsible for refining the medicine, he would have prepared to complete the formation by himself. The magic weapon is ready, why don't you just do it? What are you waiting for? Is it difficult? Cheng Xianxin laughed when he heard this. He raised his lower handle and said proudly, I can see that you don't understand. Although you are good at medicine, you are far behind in formation. This formation is not only difficult, but also extremely ingenious. Where did you get it from? You are such a fool, and picked up a big gold nugget. Cheng Xianxin said, shaking his head. He felt that Su Chen must not understand the power of this formation. Otherwise, he would never have taken it out so easily. Su Chen looked amused and raised his eyebrows and said, difficult? And it's the most ingenious thing in the world. Cheng Xianxin sneered, you don't understand the formation, and you don't understand the mystery of it, which is understandable. Let me tell you this. There are no more than a handful of people in the world who can independently arrange this formation. And even a formation genius like me can only understand less than 50%. The mystery of the formation is that a slight mistake can lead to 1,000 miles of error. If you can't even understand it, let alone arrange it. I explained it this way, you should understand it, right? After Cheng Xianxin finished speaking, he looked at Su Chen with contempt. As a result, he saw Su Chen's constipated expression. Cheng Xianxin thought that his words hit Su Chen. He patted Su Chen's shoulder and said in a different tone, boy, you don't have to feel so bad. It's normal that you don't understand the formation. I see that you have also cultivated your spiritual power, so let's do this. After you heal my eldest niece, I can teach you some formations. In the future, you will not be a formation novice, and you will not have no common sense at all. Su Chen's style of doing things is quite to his liking, so Cheng Xianxin has a good impression of Su Chen and doesn't want him to feel too bad. However, next, Su Chen was speechless, took the formation diagram directly, and asked, you only understand half of it? Isn't what I wrote detailed enough? Isn't it clear at a glance? Su Chen was worried about making mistakes, so he wrote almost every step clearly. As a result, Cheng Xianxin still couldn't understand it. This made Su Chen very upset. What kind of formation genius is this? Cheng Xianxin was stunned when he heard this. He looked at Su Chen in disbelief, then waved his hand and said, damn it. Boy, stop kidding. You are just a formation novice. Don't even think about writing out this kind of formation. Even if I ask you to draw it, you can't draw it. How dare you say you wrote it? Do you think you are Zhang Taian? Boy, you have to be strong to be arrogant. Being arrogant without strength is just bragging. Cheng Xianxin wore a shaman style and educated Su Chen in an old-fashioned tone. He felt that Su Chen was bragging too much. He wouldn't care if he was a little bit more boastful. But if you brag so much, aren't you waiting to be slapped in the face by others? On the side, Cheng Xianfeng also looked at Su Chen. He didn't quite believe that this formation diagram was written by Su Chen. Although, it was indeed Su Chen who took it out. But Cheng Xianfeng would rather believe that Su Chen just copied it down. Su Chen looked at the Cheng brothers helplessly. Then, he pointed at the formation diagram and explained, the Kyankan star ceiling formation is based on the 8 diagrams, and is divided into 2 layers, upper and lower. The lower layer is based on the innate 8 diagrams, Kyan in the south, Kun in the north, Li in the east, Kan in the west, Dui in the southeast, Zen in the northeast, Zun in the southwest, and Zhen in the northwest. To gather its energy, 8 gates are set up, namely, Xiu, Sheng, Shang, Du, Jing, Si, Jing, and K, to hide its edge and lock its spirit. This is the ground net. The upper layer is to draw the power of the 9 stars, Tan Lang, Jumen, Lucan, Wenkwa, Lion Zen, Wukwa, Pio Jun, Zuofu, and Ub. This is the Skynet. The Skynet and the ground net are formed, separating the momentum of heaven and earth. The power of the upper and lower layers is gathered in it, and transformed into yin and yang energy, through which the needle is inserted. Yin energy seals the soul, and yang energy seals the body. Su Chen broke the Kyankan star ceiling formation apart, and explained it to the two. Isn't this very simple? Don't you understand? The first update is here. Chapter 705. The order of seniority is messed up. It's so simple, you can't understand it? Su Chen was puzzled. Before, he saw Cheng Xianfeng hadn't started yet, and thought it was because the resources were not ready yet. Unexpectedly, it was because he didn't fully master the formation. After all, with the reputation of the Cheng family, Su Chen could never have thought that Cheng Xianfeng couldn't understand the formation diagram. At this moment, Cheng Xianfeng and Cheng Xianxin were stunned and looked at Su Chen. Their eyes were full of shock. With their knowledge, they could naturally hear that Su Chen explained it very clearly. This is not pretending, you can pretend. Cheng Xianfeng opened his mouth and asked 2 more puzzled points about the formation. As a result, Su Chen explained it to him casually. At this moment, Cheng Xianfeng completely recognized the reality. Su Chen actually understood such a profound formation. Moreover, he could explain his doubts casually. This can only mean that Su Chen's mastery of the formation is far better than his own. Su Chen looked at the Cheng brothers and asked like a teacher, "Are there any other questions?" This. Cheng Xianfeng opened his mouth. He wanted to say something, but in the end he couldn't say a word. After a while, in Cheng Xianfeng's eyes, there was only admiration. He finally confirmed that Su Chen's talent in formation was far superior to his. And on the side, Cheng Xianzhen's knees were even weaker. Plop. He knelt straight down. Cheng Xianzhen's sudden kneeling almost scared Su Chen. "What are you doing?" Su Chen looked at Cheng Xianzhen vigilantly. Cheng Xianzhen's appearance reminded Su Chen of his 2 resentful disciples, Bian Sansan and Lu Daokan. At the beginning, the 2 old men were also like this. They relied on him and insisted on worshipping him as their master. Now, Su Chen really has no intention of accepting disciples. There are too many things to do, and there is no spare time. Awesome. Please accept my knees. Cheng Xianzhen first praised twice, and then said sincerely, "Boss, I take back my contempt for you just now. Please accept my admiration. And, by the way, accept me as your disciple." It is true. Su Chen was speechless. Cheng Xianzhen looked at Su Chen eagerly. He didn't care about wealth and power. However, he was obsessed with the art of formation and never slacked off. And this time, Su Chen really shocked Cheng Xianzhen. Cheng Xianzhen felt that even Zhang Taiyan might not be able to surpass Su Chen's attainments in formation. He casually made an 8th level formation. If he was more serious, wouldn't he be able to make a 9th level formation? Such a thick thigh. Why don't you hug it tightly? What are you waiting for? This. Su Chen looked at Cheng Xianfeng helplessly for help. Cheng Xianfeng lowered his head and looked at the look of the 7th brother. At the moment, he was helpless and entangled and didn't know what to say. In fact, he really wanted to say, "7th brother, if you do this, you will mess up the seniority." If Cheng Xianfeng had a good impression of Su Chen before, he was willing to give him a chance to become his son-in-law. Now, Cheng Xianfeng firmly believed that, except for Su Chen, no one in the world could be worthy of his precious daughter. With such talent, there would be no 3rd person in the world. Such 2 people with extraordinary talents are naturally a perfect match made in heaven. Seeing Cheng Xianfeng silent, Su Chen could only look at Cheng Xianzhen again. "You get up first. I have no plan to accept a disciple for the time being." "Why?" Cheng Xianzhen's eyes turned. He thought of just now, when he shamelessly taught Su Chen a lesson, and hurriedly explained, "I'm sincerely becoming your disciple. I, Cheng Xianzhen, have always admired people with real skills. I just didn't recognize the real talent. My attitude changed, because your skills are higher than mine, and you convinced me. Do you think I'm currying favor with the powerful and flattering the weak? No. I'm purely thirsty for knowledge, so I want to become your disciple." Cheng Xianzhen looked at Su Chen with eager eyes. 9th level formation. When he thought of the 9th level formation, his head became crazy. As a formation master, who doesn't want to see the most mysterious 9th level formation? Su Chen looked at Cheng Xianzhen speechlessly. This guy's really not giving face to the Cheng family by becoming his disciple. It's about fate to accept a disciple. Now, we don't have this fate yet. Su Chen could only say this. Seeing that Su Chen was in a dilemma, Cheng Xianfeng spoke up to help. 7th brother, get up. Since Mr. Su doesn't mean that, don't force him. At present, the most important thing is to treat Yu Heng. As for other things, we'll talk about it later. Cheng Xianfeng reminded Cheng Xianzhen not to play rogue to Su Chen and force Su Chen to run away. Okay. Cheng Xianzhen got up reluctantly. Then, he turned his eyes again and said, "Since I can't become your disciple, I'll recognize you as my elder brother first. Is that okay?" Hearing this, Cheng Xianfeng's face turned black. "I want to accept Su Chen as my son-in-law, and you're going to call him elder brother? In the future, when you see your eldest niece, are you going to call her sister-in-law? Su Chen hesitated for a moment and said, I'm younger than you. Seeing that Su Chen had no intention of refusing, Cheng Xianxin immediately took advantage of the situation and said, it's okay. We'll talk about ability, not age. He shouted directly, brother, you can't say that I don't even have the fate to call you brother, right? Just now, I helped you beat Liu Yuanwu. Hearing this, if Su Chen refused again, it would be too disrespectful. He could only reluctantly agree. On the side, Cheng Xianfeng's face became even darker. Now, he wanted to kick Cheng Xianxin out. Cheng Xianxin turned around and saw Cheng Xianfeng with a dark face and said with a smile, second brother, why are you still frowning? Second brother, don't worry. With my eldest brother here, this formation is not a problem at all. Cheng Xianfeng was so angry when he heard the title of eldest brother and second brother. So, as the future father-in-law, he had to follow the seventh brother to call Su Chen brother. The more Cheng Xianfeng thought about it, the more he felt upset. But Cheng Xianxin didn't pay attention to his expression at all, but was excited. Brother, second brother, let's start setting up the formation now. No need to wait for Zhang Tian. Brother, you arrange it now, and my second brother and I will do it. We will never delay your medicine refining. Now, Cheng Xianxin is very confident in Su Chen. With Su Chen's ability, he can definitely cure Cheng Yuheng. Su Chen thought about it and didn't refuse. He started to arrange it directly, asking the Cheng brothers to set up the formation based on this small courtyard. Because Su Chen also had to take care of medicine refining, he could only arrange tasks for the Cheng brothers and then go to make medicine. When the medicine refining was paused, Su Chen would check the Cheng brothers' formation arrangement while giving acupuncture to Cheng Yuheng and arrange the next formation arrangement by the way. With Su Chen's command, the formation arrangement finally started slowly. To arrange the formation, you need to look for stars and observe the air and choose the right direction. However, with Su Chen's guidance, the Cheng brothers only need to be responsible for the work. The two of them no longer had to worry about making mistakes in their understanding of the formation or arranging it, and they felt much more at ease. However, refining pills, giving Cheng Yuheng acupuncture, and arranging the formation all required Su Chen to worry about, which made him quite tired. With Su Chen's non-stop work, everything went on in an orderly manner. Time passed quickly. In the small courtyard, the Cheng brothers had just finished arranging a corner of the formation and were about to take a break and wait for Su Chen to come out for inspection next time. At this time, Buzz, Cheng Xianfeng's phone vibrated. He looked down and said happily, seventh brother, Zhang Tian is here. Cheng Xianxin also showed a happy expression on his face. Master Zhang, the number one person in the formation? Let's go. Let's go see him. I want to tell him that he is now the number 2 person in the formation. The second update is here, and the update is over. There will still be 2 updates today for the time being. I have to be busy visiting relatives. Please forgive me. I wish you all the best and good mood every day. Good night everyone. Chapter 706 The Taoist Priest is Strange. Cheng Xianfeng and Cheng Xianxin hurried to the front yard. Soon, they saw Zhang Tian, who had long hair and beard and looked like an immortal. Zhang Tian looked about 40 years old. But in fact, he was at least 70 years old. He came from Xianqi Mountain and was a direct disciple of the previous generation of Xianqi and Zhuaniuan Mansion. The previous generation of Xianqi disappeared more than 50 years ago. Some people said that the old Xianqi ascended to heaven. Some said that he ascended to heaven in broad daylight after comprehending the Great Dao, and some said that the old Xianqi was fine, but he just hid himself and went into seclusion to comprehend the Dao. There were many rumors, but no one dared to go to Xianqi Mountain to confirm them. Cheng Xianfeng and Zhang Tian were quite familiar with each other. After the two exchanged pleasantries, Cheng Xianfeng got straight to the point. He explained the reason for inviting Zhang Tian to come. Zhang Tian was not vague and asked quickly, since Yuheng is in trouble, I naturally have no choice but to do it. Where is the formation diagram? Let me see. Zhang Tian was also quite curious about the Qiang Confengxing formation. Cheng Xianfeng handed it over. Let's go. Zhang Tian took the formation map and said, let's go to where you set up the formation. I'll walk and watch. Cheng Shai and Feng nodded and led the way. When the three arrived at the courtyard where the formation was set up, Zhang Tian, who was looking down at the formation map, was already shocked. On the side, Cheng Shiansen saw Zhang Tian's expression and was very excited. Even the number one in formation was shocked. It was not shameful that he didn't understand the formation. Master Zhang, this formation is powerful, right? Cheng Shiansen looked proud. Zhang Tian raised his head and asked, where did you get this formation map? Cheng Shiansen said loudly, of course it was given to me by my eldest brother. Zhang Tian was stunned. Your eldest brother? He also came to the provincial capital of Dongzhou? Zhang Tian thought that it was the uncle of the Cheng family who came. He didn't expect that the eldest brother in Cheng Shiansen's mouth was actually just a young man in his early 20s. Cheng Shai and Feng glared at Cheng Shiansen. Seventh brother, don't make trouble. Cheng Shiansen smiled and quickly shut up. It's like this. Cheng Shai and Feng immediately told Su Chen's situation. Zhang Tian's eyes suddenly widened. What did you say? Shai and Feng, you are not kidding me, are you? This formation diagram was written by that kid. Zhang Tian frowned and asked suspiciously. He wanted to say something else. Stop. Cheng Shiansen shook his head confidently, his purple hair flying, and stopped him. Master Zhang, are you going to say that he is only in his early 20s, let alone writing? He can't even trace it? Zhang Tian nodded. He really wanted to say that. Cheng Shiansen laughed. Your reaction is exactly the same as mine before. But now, my eldest brother has convinced me. I speak for my eldest brother. I guarantee that this formation was drawn by him. At this point, Cheng Shiansen pointed to the surroundings, where there were the foundation stones of the formation that Su Chen guided his brothers to lay. He said, see, these positions were all found by my elder brother. Master Zhang, if it were you, how long would it take to find these positions? Cheng Shiansen looked at Zhang Tian. Zhang Tian frowned. The old man of the Cheng family is already in his 30s. How can he have the nerve to call a 20-something man his elder brother? But this guy has always been out of tune, so Zhang Tian no longer paid attention to this issue. Hearing Cheng Shiansen's question, Zhang Tian began to look at the array base positioning and calculate. After half an hour of calculation, he was sure that the position chosen by Su Chen was not wrong at all. 3 hours. Zhang Tian gave an estimated time. Although, it didn't take him long to verify Su Chen's choice of position just now. But that was only because Su Chen had already chosen the position, and he only needed to calculate and verify whether it was correct. If he was asked to start from scratch, just to select the positions of these array bases, 1 or 2 hours would not be enough. The foundation of the array is extraordinary, and it is necessary to determine the 8 gates of the position, and lead the 9 stars. A slight mistake in direction can lead to a huge error. Not to mention it will be useful, I'm afraid it will backfire. Moreover, the most important thing is that he has to look at the formation diagram first and study it thoroughly before he can start. Therefore, the 3 hours Zhang Tian said is not long. Anyone who can get it done within a day can be called a formation master. At this time, Cheng Shiansen raised his head and said proudly, my big brother, 30 minutes. Cheng Shiansen raised his chin, as if he was not talking about Su Chen, but himself. 30 minutes? To quarters of an hour. Zhang Tian's eyes almost popped out. He quickly turned his head and looked at Cheng Shai and Feng for confirmation. Cheng Shiansen was too unreliable. He didn't believe this guy. Seeing Zhang Tian's look, Cheng Shai and Feng nodded. He praised, Su Chen is indeed a brilliant person. His attainments in the formation are superb. If he is from my Cheng family, his future achievements will definitely be far beyond mine. Cheng Shai and Feng gave Su Chen a very high evaluation. Cheng Shiansen's expression was a little strange when he heard this. He said, second brother, don't think that I recognize you as your eldest brother and want to follow me to benefit from it. My eldest brother and I are a personal relationship, which has nothing to do with the family. What are the rules of the family? Don't you know? Don't think of using me to let my eldest brother join the family as a family general. Cheng Xianxin has always been uncomfortable with the behavior of aristocratic families, even his own Cheng family. That's why he rebelled into his current image. In his opinion, with Su Chen's talent and ability, even without the Cheng family, he would shine. So why should he be restricted by the Cheng family? Cheng Xianfeng glanced at Cheng Xianxin, speechless. He turned his head to look at Zhang Taiyan. As a result, he saw Zhang Taiyan staring at the formation diagram in a daze. Suddenly, Zhang Taiyan seemed to suddenly remember something, and his expression changed rapidly. Cheng Xianfeng asked, "Brother Taiyan, what's wrong?" When Cheng Xianfeng was young, he and Zhang Taiyan were close friends. The two only talked about friendship, not seniority. Zhang Taiyan hurriedly said, "Where is that young man named Su Chen now? Quick, take me to see him." Zhang Taiyan looked anxious. Cheng Xianfeng was very surprised to see Zhang Taiyan like this. He has known Zhang Taiyan for more than 20 years. He has always seen him calm and indifferent to everything, and has never seen him have such obvious emotional fluctuations. Cheng Xianxin was also surprised. "Master Zhang, do you want to accept a disciple?" Cheng Xianxin raised his eyebrows and continued, "If that's the case, forget it. I knelt down to worship my elder brother as my master, but he didn't want to accept me, not to mention asking him to worship you as his master." Zhang Taiyan shook his head and said anxiously, "I don't want to accept him as my disciple, but I have something to ask him." Cheng Xianfeng saw that Zhang Taiyan was abnormal, and he said directly, "Brother Taiyan, Su Chen is refining pills in the side yard. I will take you there." As he spoke, Cheng Xianfeng led the way, and Zhang Taiyan hurriedly followed. That anxious look was not right at first glance. First update. Chapter 707. Battle of Formations. Cheng Xianfeng led the way in front, and Zhang Taiyan followed closely. Seeing this, Cheng Xianxin also hurried over. He thought that, if Su Chen got into trouble, he could help him. At this time, in the side yard, Su Chen was refining medicine, while giving instructions to his two cheap apprentices. At this moment, Bian Sanson and Lu Daokan no longer looked like divine doctors. Sometimes they were ordered by Su Chen to do this and that, and sometimes they were scolded by Su Chen for not doing it right. They were busy like grandsons. However, the two were very happy. Just learning to refine medicine from Su Chen has improved their medical skills a lot. A casual instruction from Su Chen was equivalent to their years of exploration. Although both soul-fixing grass and soul-fixing grass are spiritual medicines used for spiritual power, their medicinal properties conflict and must be handled properly. Su Chen said, if these two medicines are used at the same time, the medicinal effects will cancel each other out. Not only will the effect be minimal, but it may also cause backlash. Do you know what will happen if you use soul-fixing grass first and soul-fixing grass later? When this question was raised, the two old men frowned and kept thinking. Soul-fixing grass and soul-fixing grass are both used specifically for people with damaged spiritual power. In the past, they had used them, but not at the same time. After all, there are too few people who can afford these two spiritual medicines at the same time. Moreover, these two spiritual medicines have extremely harsh requirements for the growth environment, and there are very few wild ones. And if you want the medicinal effect to be qualified, you need to have long enough age to be effective. That is to say, the conditions of the Cheng family may not be met by any other family. Lu Daokan and Bian Sanson thought for a moment, and were about to speak. Suddenly, a loud and deep voice came from outside. Gu means solidification. Ding means stability. If you use the soul-fixing grass first, the 3 souls and 7 spirits will shrink and condense, and transform the emptiness and solidity in the Niwen Palace. Then the external medicine cannot be used, and the soul-fixing grass will be ineffective. If you use the soul-fixing grass first, the 3 souls and 7 spirits will change from movement to stillness and return to stability. If you use the soul-fixing grass at this time, the 3 souls will guard death and the person will fall into a long coma. Su Chen and the other two heard the voice, and turned their heads to look. Then, they saw Cheng Xianfeng and Zhang Taiyan walking in. And those words just now were said by Zhang Taiyan, who was dressed in a black and white Taoist robe. I wonder if what I said is correct? Zhang Taiyan asked, while looking at Su Chen. Su Chen nodded and said, yes, that's right. That's what my grandfather taught me at the beginning. It can be said that it is almost word for word the same as what the old man in Taoist robes said. Cheng Shai and Feng stepped forward and introduced the identities of the two people. Su Chen bowed and said, "So it's Taoist Master Zhang." Su Chen is polite. Zhang Tian nodded slightly in response to Su Chen. With his age and status, there is really no one in the world who can make him bow to him. Su Chen didn't care. After all, he could feel that Zhang Tian in front of him was almost his grandfather's generation. "My dear Su, I'm sorry to bother you. I have a question for you," Zhang Tian said. Su Chen was slightly startled and a little surprised. "What's the question, Taoist master? Just ask." Zhang Tian narrowed his eyes and asked in a cold voice, "May I ask, my dear Su, where did you get this formation diagram?" Zhang Tian's voice suddenly increased and his eyes were also a little sharp. "What's wrong? What's the problem?" Su Chen felt that Zhang Tian's tone was wrong and he didn't know whether it was anxious or hostile. He thought that Zhang Tian felt that there was something wrong with the formation diagram. Zhang Tian stared at Su Chen and said, "What's the problem?" "It's a big problem. This formation is called the Heaven and Earth Attracting Star Formation. It was created by the senior master of Zhou Wanqiu Mansion in Qianqi Mountain. So I'm very curious, where did you get it from?" Hearing this, everyone who was originally relaxed suddenly realized that the atmosphere was not right. Cheng Xian Feng and Cheng Xian Xin looked at each other, and their faces became solemn. Cheng Xian Feng even gave Cheng Xian Xin a look, hinting to him, if there is an unexpected situation, he will stop Zhang Tian and let Cheng Xian Xin protect Su Chen. This is not to say that Cheng Xian Feng's position in Su Chen's heart is more important than Zhang Tian, but his daughter's life depends on Su Chen. At this moment, even if Su Chen violates the heavenly law, he has to stop the thunder tribulation for Su Chen. No matter what happens, it cannot affect Cheng Yuheng's treatment. Facing Zhang Tian's fierce momentum, Su Chen frowned and asked, "I don't understand. What do you mean by this? This formation is not called the Heaven and Earth Attracting Star Formation, but the Qiang Concealing Star Formation. I didn't get it from the Zhou Wanqiu Mansion, but my grandfather taught it to me." Su Chen's face was not good either. He remembered it very clearly. Since he could remember, his grandfather forced him to learn all kinds of things. And this Qiang Concealing Star Formation, Su Chen didn't want to learn it when he was a child. In order to make him interested, his grandfather told him stories and attracted him to learn it step by step. When his grandfather passed on this formation to him, he said that it was something he had comprehended casually when he was young. At that time, his grandfather also encouraged Su Chen to comprehend a formation in the future and let Su Chen teach him in return. Therefore, when Su Chen heard Zhang Tian's words, he felt as if he was insulting his grandfather. If it weren't for taking care of Cheng Xian Feng's face, Su Chen would not bother to explain to him at all. The Qiang Star Sealing Formation? Zhang Tian frowned and said, "The name can be changed, but the content has not been changed." Seeing that Zhang Tian was in a bad mood, Cheng Xian Feng immediately interrupted him and asked, "Brother Tian, what's going on? There are countless formations in the world. The way of formations is even more different, and the destination is the same. It is very possible that different formation geniuses have comprehended similar formations and created two sets of formations that are similar." Cheng Xian Feng stepped forward to smooth things over. The two people in front of him, one is his best friend, and the other is a young talent he likes very much. He didn't want to see Su Chen and Zhang Tian have any conflicts. When Zhang Tian heard this, he also realized that he was too anxious and did not express himself clearly, which seemed to have caused a misunderstanding. "I'm anxious. I have no hostility. Please forgive me. Let me explain first," Zhang Tian said. "There are countless arrays in the world, and there are indeed similar arrays. But it is impossible for the arrays to be exactly the same. The so-called array is the core of the array, and it is the backbone that supports the array. The array of each array is different. Even arrays with the same function will have slight differences due to different foundations. There are almost no two arrays with exactly the same array." Su Chen also understood this truth and frowned in thought. At this time, Zhang Tian explained, "You may not know that this array was created by my master's junior brother who realized the truth alone. If the array is complete, it can become a 9th level array. The second update is here. I will still update 2 more today. Please forgive me. I have written about the identity of the male protagonist's grandfather and the male protagonist's life experience. The follow-up is exciting and will not disappoint you, so stay tuned. Thank you for your support. After visiting relatives for 2 days, I will immediately resume at least 3 updates. Good night. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 708, Heavenly Master, 9th Level Formation. Created by enlightenment alone. Upon hearing this introduction, everyone couldn't help but take a deep breath. They were not shocked by the level of this formation, but by the talent of Zhang Tai'an's great grandmaster. How terrifying is this talent to independently create a 9th level formation? It is comparable to the legendary great power. Brother Tai'an, with your great grandmaster's talent, he shouldn't be unknown in the world. Cheng Xianfeng was puzzled and asked, if there really is such a great power, even if it has been hundreds of years, they can't have never heard of it. What's more, with Zhang Tai'an's age, even if his great grandmaster has passed away, it is probably not more than 100 years now. Such a person should shock the martial arts world no matter what. Zhang Tai'an explained, at the beginning, the great grandmaster's talent was too amazing. The great grandmaster was worried that the tree would be destroyed by the wind if it stood out in the forest, so he suppressed the matter. In addition, this formation was sealed, and no one was allowed to practice and use it. Everyone nodded. As the saying goes, deep love does not last long, and extreme wisdom will hurt. This formation is profound and mysterious. If ordinary people do not have enough concentration and force themselves to study and use it, they may suffer a backlash and go astray. Zhang Tai'an continued. Later, for some reason, the great grandmaster left Xianqi Mountain and disappeared. And after the great grandmaster passed away, only the broken formation diagram and the complete formation path remained. Everyone was shocked. According to Zhang Tai'an, even Xianqi Mountain did not have a complete formation diagram in front of them. Zhang Tai'an continued, I can recognize this formation, because I have seen the formation path of the heaven and earth attracting star formation. Otherwise, just looking at the formation diagram, I'm afraid that I can't tell that this is the amazing formation created by the great grandmaster. Everyone was stunned. Unexpectedly, there is such a source behind this formation. After Zhang Tai'an introduced it, he turned to look at Su Chen. He asked again, Su Xiao, you should understand now why I want to know where you got this formation, right? Because this is the formation of my great grandmaster. Su Chen was also shocked by Zhang Tai'an's words. He subconsciously retorted, impossible. This formation was created by my grandfather. How could it be your great grandmaster? Although, grandpa often jokes and makes fun of himself from time to time. But those are just daily trivial matters. In big things, grandpa never brags or lies. What? Your grandfather? Zhang Tai'an was immediately surprised and doubtful when he heard this. He subconsciously felt that either Su Chen was lying or Su Chen's grandfather was bragging. However, Zhang Tai'an still stabilized his mind. With the attitude of bold guessing and careful verification, Zhang Tai'an asked, Su Xiao, how old are you this year? And how old is your grandfather? Su Chen said, I'm 23. As for my grandfather, I don't know. Su Chen knew his own age, but he didn't know his grandfather's age. The key is that his grandfather never told him and never celebrated his birthday. Zhang Tai'an pondered for a moment. 23 years old? Then according to normal circumstances, your grandfather is at most in his 60s. Zhang Tai'an frowned. He is not even older than himself. How could he be his great uncle? What's your grandfather's name? Zhang Tai'an asked again. Su Chen was a little embarrassed and said, I don't know. Everyone was stunned. Su Chen said helplessly, in the village, my grandfather and I live together. Over the years, I haven't heard the villagers and neighbors call my grandfather by his name. They usually respect him as Mr. Su. and I myself have always called him Grandpa since I can remember, and I have never thought of asking his name. Everyone was very surprised, even with Zhang Taiyan's cultivation. He looked at Su Chen with some doubt. I don't know this, I don't know that. Are you really a grandson? Zhang Taiyan didn't ask, but Cheng Xianxin couldn't help it. He blurted out, brother, are you your grandfather's grandson? You didn't pick him up, did you? Cheng Xianfeng also nodded. It is so rare that a grandson knows nothing about his grandfather. Su Chen was a little angry. Nonsense. How could I not be my grandfather's grandson? When Su Chen was a child, he had doubts. After all, there were only him and his grandfather in the family. But as he looked more and more like his grandfather, he no longer doubted. Zhang Taiyan frowned and pondered. Suddenly, he looked up and asked, Su Xiaoyao, do you know if your grandfather has any birthmarks or scars? Scars? Su Chen lowered his head and was about to recall. He suddenly thought of something and looked up at Zhang Taiyan. What does this Taoist mean? Is he doubting that Grandpa is really his uncle? Isn't this a bit far-fetched? Su Chen felt that this idea was too absurd. How could Grandpa be a Taoist? On weekdays, he had never seen his grandfather worship any Taoist ancestors, and he had no taboos in diet. However, Su Chen thought about it carefully now, and Grandpa was indeed very mysterious. For example, he once asked his grandfather why there were only two of them in their family and no one else. For another example, he also asked his grandfather where his parents went and why others had parents but he didn't. But his grandfather always told him that he was still young and didn't know these things. At that time, he was not very old and didn't see the time to mention these things. Grandpa, who was always frivolous, seemed to be in a low mood, even with a little repressed emotion. Su Chen recalled. The scenes of living with his grandfather in the past suddenly appeared in front of him. Zhang Taiyan and others kept silent and waited, and didn't disturb Su Chen. Suddenly, Su Chen's eyes flashed. He remembered something. When he was a child, when he and his grandfather went to the river to catch fish, he did see a mark on his grandfather. Su Chen was about to say it. Suddenly, a thought floated through Su Chen's mind. Zhang Taiyan said just now that his great uncle left Xianqi Mountain because of some things and then disappeared. Could it be that his great uncle had a feud with Xianqi Mountain? If his grandfather is really Zhang Taiyan's great uncle and he has a grudge against Xianqi Mountain, then if he tells it out, won't it cause trouble for his grandfather? Su Chen himself has never been afraid of trouble, nor is he afraid of any danger. However, he can't let his grandfather fall into danger. Master Zhang, I want to ask, why did your great uncle leave Xianqi Mountain? Su Chen asked directly. Zhang Taiyan looked at Su Chen. He instantly understood what Su Chen meant, shook his head and smiled helplessly. He explained, my Xianqi Mountain is the orthodox Taoism, taught by the Xianqi himself, not some dirty and evil way. For a genius like my great uncle who is hard to find in the world, there are only admiration, and no jealousy or hatred in Xianqi Mountain. The reason why my great uncle left Xianqi Mountain was because the great uncle intended to pass the position of Xianqi to him. Everyone was stunned. Isn't this a good thing? First update. Chapter 709 Crescent Birthmark. Xianqi Mountain is said to be the place where Zhang Xianqi, one of the four great celestial masters in the ancient heaven, attained enlightenment and ascended to heaven. Zhang Xianqi left a legacy here. The status of Zhou Wanqiu Mansion in Xianqi Mountain is a holy place for Taoists in the world, and its status is extraordinary. The one who controls Zhou Wanqiu Mansion is the contemporary Xianqi. It is no exaggeration to say that whoever becomes a Xianqi is equivalent to controlling the world's Taoism. Since he is going to be a Xianqi, why did he leave? Lu Daokan asked in confusion. Everyone nodded. This is a good thing. If you become a Xianqi, you can command the world's Taoism. If you want resources, you have resources. If you want status, you have status. Zhang Taiyan said helplessly, because Master Uncle has no interest in power at all. He is obsessed with enlightenment and wants nothing more than freedom. He doesn't care about the position of Heavenly Master at all. He thinks it is a shackle and a burden. But at that time, the entire Zhou Wanqiu Mansion recognized Master Uncle's talent. and the Grandmaster and the elders are even more determined that only Master Uncle can inherit Zhou Wanqiu Mansion. Everyone expressed their understanding. Any force that has such a capable, talented, and convinced disciple will make this choice. Zhang Tian sighed and said, at that time, except for Master Uncle, anyone else who took over as Heavenly Master would not be convinced. However, Master Uncle was not interested. After repeated persuasion from the elders in the sect, Master Uncle finally had no way to retreat. Finally, he left a letter saying that he was going to be free and unrestrained, and then left Qianqi Mountain. Zhang Tian said here with some emotion, if it weren't for the fact that his great-grandmaster uncle had no interest in the position of Heavenly Master and insisted on leaving, his great-grandmaster would not have had the opportunity to take over the position of Heavenly Master, and he naturally couldn't be a Heavenly Master now. Su Chen carefully observed Zhang Tian's expression and didn't seem to be lying. Moreover, his words were logically coherent. At least Su Chen didn't hear any fabrication or something wrong. Su Chen asked in a deep voice, what happened later? Did your great-grandmaster uncle send any more letters to your Zhou Wanqiu Mansion? If Zhang Tian was really his grandfather, why didn't he contact Zhou Wanqiu Mansion? Zhang Tian seemed to want to say something. He hesitated and finally said, after leaving Zhou Wanqiu Mansion, the great-grandmaster uncle sent a total of 3 letters. The last one was the day before the great-grandmaster passed away. After the great-grandmaster passed away, there was no news from the great-grandmaster uncle. Zhang Tian didn't seem to be lying. However, Su Chen saw that he seemed to be hiding something. But this was obviously wrong. It seems that Zhang Tian is a man who is a master of the divine realm with great spiritual power. If he deliberately concealed his thoughts, how could Su Chen, who is in the yin-yang period, see through his thoughts so easily? Is Zhang Tian open-minded and magnanimous, or is he doing it on purpose? Su Chen is not a person who is entangled, but he has to be cautious when it comes to his grandfather. When did you say these things? Su Chen asked again. Zhang Tian pondered for a moment and said, about 100 years ago. Zhang Tian also learned about these from his master. These things all happened when his master was a child. More than 100 years ago. Su Chen was stunned on the spot. No matter how he looked at it, he didn't think his grandfather looked like he was more than 100 years old. My friend, I can swear by the Taoist tradition that I, Zhang Tian, and Zhou Wanqiu Mansion have no ill will towards my uncle. Zhang Tian said, pointing his finger to the sky, and swore a Taoist oath on the spot. The oath of a Taoist priest is different from that of an ordinary person. Their words are followed by the law, and they are in heaven and in the underworld. According to the Taoist scriptures, their oaths must be recorded in the Book of Merits. If they break their oaths and lie, it is a crime of deceiving the heaven. The crime of deceiving the heaven will lead to death and the demise of the Tao, and the scattering of the soul. After Zhang Tian made his oath, he looked at Su Chen and said, my friend, if your grandfather knows about my great-grandmaster's situation, please let me know. Everyone in Zhou Wanqiu Mansion is grateful. Zhang Tian did not think that Su Chen's grandfather would be his great-grandmaster's grandfather. He felt that it was more likely that Su Chen's grandfather had accidentally inherited the inheritance of his great-grandmaster's grandfather. Zhang Tian's great-grandmaster and great-grandmaster, when they passed away, had always missed his great-grandmaster's uncle and instructed Zhang Tian's master to find his great-grandmaster's uncle. Now, he has taken over the position of Heavenly Master, and his master has also told him so. At this time, it is not easy to get the news of his great-grandmaster's uncle. How could Zhang Tian give up easily? Seeing Zhang Tian's sincere face, Su Chen recalled and said, when I was a child, I saw a crescent-shaped red birthmark on my grandfather's chest. As he said this, he gestured on his chest. Hearing this, Zhang Tian's eyes almost popped out. What did you say? Your grandfather has a crescent-shaped red birthmark on his chest. Zhang Tian stepped forward and excitedly grabbed Su Chen's shoulders. Yes. Su Chen nodded. Zhang Tian exclaimed, my uncle is still alive. He was very excited. Suddenly, Zhang Tian slapped his head. He hurriedly took out an ancient and old wooden sign from his arms. On the wooden sign, there was a portrait of a person. Zhang Tian asked in a trembling voice, Su Xiaoyao, does your grandfather look like this? Su Chen looked at the wooden sign. I saw that the wooden sign had been old for a long time, but the color was not dark. It was obviously made of good wood. Su Chen looked at the portrait on it, and the contours of the facial features were very clear. Slowly, Su Chen was also a little frightened. Because, although this head portrait is not very detailed, it is very similar to Grandpa. Su Chen nodded, a little bit like, but my grandpa is not that young. Also, my grandpa has a red mole here. Su Chen pointed to the earlobe of the wooden portrait and added. Hearing this, Zhang Tian was shocked. He shouted repeatedly, yes, yes, that's my great uncle. Zhang Tian was very excited. He hurriedly asked, Su Xiaoyao, is my great uncle still alive? At this moment, Zhang Tian was so excited that he didn't have the demeanor of master at all. Instead, he looked more like an ordinary person who had been looking for his relatives for many years. However, it was not just Zhang Tian who was excited at this time. No one present was calm, especially the brothers Cheng Shai and Feng and Cheng Shai and Sun. They looked at this scene in amazement. Isn't this too amazing? They thought that Su Chen had no background. Who would have thought that this guy had such a great background? If Su Chen is really from Zhou Wanqiu Mountain, his talent and status will definitely surpass those of the young masters of the major families in Shangjing. Suddenly, Cheng Shai and Feng became excited. In this way, Su Chen is also a good match for the Cheng family. By then, if he succeeds with Yu Heng, there will not be much resistance in the family. Su Chen didn't know at all that Cheng Shai and Feng even thought of what to call his and Cheng Yu Heng's children. He looked at Zhang Tian blankly and said, my grandfather is alive and well. Su Chen's heart was surging. So, his grandfather is really over 100 years old? Then his parents. The second update is here. It's another busy day. I squeezed in time to write until now, and I have only finished these 2 chapters. Good night, everyone. I will resume 3 updates soon. Don't worry. Sorry. Chapter 710 Uncle Su Chen. At this moment, Su Chen's heart was surging. He felt as if he was about to touch something. Opposite him, Zhang Tian was even more excited. He asked excitedly, Master's uncle is still alive. Where is he? Where is he now? Zhang Tian grabbed Su Chen's arm, with an anxious look on his face. My friend, can you take me there to see Master's uncle? Just take me alone. Don't worry, if Master's uncle is tired of being disturbed by Zhou Wanqiu Mansion, I will never reveal his news. As for whether Master's uncle is willing to return to Xianqi Mountain, I will discuss it with him, and everything will be based on his wishes. Zhang Tian was very humble. The long cherished wish that lasted for hundreds of years and passed down for 4 generations was finally going to be completed in his generation. Even with Zhang Tian's state of mind, he couldn't help but be excited. Su Chen thought about it and nodded. I can take you back. However, my grandfather often goes out, and it usually takes a long time for him to come back. I can't guarantee that I can see him after I take you back to the village. In addition, I have to wait until I finish my current work. As for telling Zhang Tian the address and letting him go there by himself, Su Chen is not at ease for the time being. After all, Zhang Tian's level is too high. If he deliberately deceives, Su Chen is afraid that he may not be able to see through this person. Su Chen doesn't think that his grandfather will be in danger. After all, based on his growth experience over the years, those who want to plot against that old man always end up miserably in the end. The reason why Su Chen wants to go together is because he has a feeling that he seems to be touching the secret of his parents. Although Su Chen has never mentioned it, his parents have always been a knot in his heart. He really wants to know who his parents are. Did they abandon him voluntarily, or were they forced to leave him behind? Are his parents in danger? Su Chen has a hunch. Perhaps he can use Zhang Tian as an opportunity to explore some news about his parents. Hearing Su Chen say this, even if Zhang Tian was extremely anxious to see his uncle master, he could only suppress it temporarily. What's more, Cheng Yu Heng was still in danger. It was unrealistic for him to take Su Chen away at this time. Okay, I'll follow your arrangements. Zhang Tian nodded repeatedly. After Su Chen and the other person finished talking, the people on the side didn't come back to their senses for a long time. At this time, Cheng Xianzhen was the first to react. He exclaimed, damn. So that's what happened. I was scared. I thought that Taoist Zhang was going to make trouble for my eldest brother, but I didn't expect it to be a recognition of relatives. Everyone laughed. Cheng Xianxin looked at Su Chen and gave him a thumbs up. Brother, I didn't expect you to be so powerful. You really deserve to be my eldest brother. Cheng Xianxin. According to seniority, you should be considered Taoist Zhang's junior brother. Most people in the world of Taoism have to show respect to you as a junior when they see you. It seems that when I go to Daocean in the future, I can get a free ticket by reporting your name, eldest brother. Cheng Xianxin looked happy. In the current world of Taoism, the person with the highest seniority is Zhang Tai'an. In addition to the special status of Xianqi Mountain, it is not an exaggeration to say that all the Taoists in the world are juniors. However, when Zhang Tai'an heard this, he looked a little embarrassed. He pondered and said, according to the rules of Zhou Wanqiu Mansion, we don't talk about the seniority of the secular family, but only arrange them according to inheritance. Su, little friend, you should be considered my uncle. Su Chen's skills were taught by his grandfather. Counting it, his grandfather should be considered his master. In this way, according to the rules of Zhou Wanqiu Mansion, Su Chen should be of the same generation as Zhang Tai'an's master. In other words, Su Chen is Zhang Tai'an's uncle. Even at Su Chen's age, it is not an exaggeration to call him grandpa. But rules are rules. There is no order without rules. This is the tradition of Taoism. Zhang Tai'an was helpless. However, he still stepped forward and saluted respectfully, saying, Zhou Wanqiu Mansion Dingzi generation disciple. Zhang Tai'an greets uncle. Su Chen was stunned. He quickly reached out his hand and helped Zhang Tai'an up. Master Zhang, you are embarrassing me. There is no need to do this. Our relationship has not been confirmed yet. Zhang Tai'an stood up and shook his head, saying, Uncle Master, you deserve this respect. In his heart, he had already determined that Su Chen's grandfather was his great-uncle master. Apart from the great-uncle master's personal training, Zhang Tai'an couldn't think of anyone else in the world who could use the heaven and earth attracting star array to such an extent. Moreover, he had a sudden inspiration at the beginning of the month. When he met Su Chen today, he knew that it was due to this matter. The titles of the two made the people around them stunned. Uncle Master. Cheng Xianfeng and Cheng Xianxin took a breath of cold air at the same time. Su Chen was soaring to the sky at this moment. Uncle Master of Zhou Wanqiu Mansion Xianqi. With this identity, anyone in the world who wants to touch Su Chen is an enemy of Taoism. Liu family? Haha. This time it's going to be a disaster. But Su Chen looked calm. He never thought of using someone's identity to deal with his enemies. Su Chen has come all this way, relying only on himself. Therefore, he was not too disturbed by whether he was Zhang Tai'an's uncle. Now, he just wanted to know the situation of his parents and his grandfather's past. But the most urgent thing now was to solve Cheng Yuhang's troubles first, and then he would have time to ask clearly. Next, Zhang Tai'an devoted himself to the arrangement of the Kayang Confengxing array. This saved Su Chen a lot of time. Compared with Cheng Xianxin and Cheng Xianfeng, Zhang Tai'an's attainments in the formation are indeed much better. Many things that need to be explained to the Cheng brothers several times. Zhang Tai'an understood them at once. Although this is related to Zhang Tai'an's previous contact with this formation, it also shows that his talent for formation is strong. And Zhang Tai'an admired Su Chen's attainments in the formation more and more during Su Chen's guidance. He was more and more certain that Su Chen's grandfather must be his uncle. In this way, Zhang Tai'an worked hard to arrange the formation without sleep. The formation that was originally estimated to be completed in about 10 days was completed in more than 5 days with the efforts of Su Chen and Zhang Tai'an. Cheng Xianxin was still a little confused when he saw the extremely mysterious formation in front of him activated. They created a miracle in 5 days? In just 5 days, a few of them completed an 8th level formation? This feels a bit dreamy. Cheng Xianfeng also found it incredible. He asked excitedly, Mr. Su, the formation is complete. When can we start? Su Chen pondered for a moment and said, tonight, I should be able to refine the required elixir, and we can start tomorrow night. Tomorrow night? Cheng Xianfeng looked puzzled. Since the formation and elixir are already tonight, why not start early tomorrow morning? He was concerned about Cheng Yuheng and didn't want to delay for a moment. Su Chen shook his head and said, the sun is too strong during the day, and the power of the stars is weakened. The Kyang concealing star formation needs to draw on a large amount of star power as a barrier to block the prying of the rules of heaven and earth. Therefore, it is best to start at night. First update. Chapter 711. Fighting for Life. After hearing Su Chen's explanation, everyone suddenly realized it. Okay, everything is up to Mr. Su. Cheng Shai and Feng bowed to Su Chen solemnly. Now, Su Chen's background, identity, and seniority have all soared to the sky. Even if Cheng Shai and Feng likes him in his heart, it is not good to treat him as a junior. After all, the face of Zhou Wanqiu mansion still needs to be given. Then, Su Chen walked to the side yard again. He pulled the two old men, Bian Sanson and Lu Daokan, and worked non-stop to refine medicine all night. Finally, the required elixir was successfully refined. 7 Finkio pills. 1 fueling pill. The number of pills is not particularly large, but they are all extremely necessary, mainly because the time is too urgent, and the required medicinal materials are extremely rare and precious. Su Chen can only temporarily refine so many, which is barely enough. And this also means that Su Chen only has one chance. If he fails, not to mention that Cheng Yuheng cannot be saved, even he himself will suffer backlash and endanger his life. Su Chen dare not be careless. The Kyang concealing star formation and this treatment plan were both his first attempts. Even though he had deduced it countless times in his mind, Su Chen was still not completely sure. He planned to use one day to adjust his condition to the peak. Night fell. The entire Cheng family villa was in a highly tense atmosphere. All the idle people had been arranged to guard outside the villa. Cheng Shai and Feng had almost mobilized all the forces that could be mobilized secretly. If anyone dared to disturb the villa tonight, the Cheng family would kill them directly. Cheng Shai and Sun, Cheng Shai and Feng, and Zhang Tai'an stood outside Su Chen's door and waited quietly. No one dared to urge Su Chen, for fear of disturbing Su Chen's adjustment. At 10 o'clock in the evening, Su Chen finished his practice and went out. Everyone looked at each other, tacitly did not speak, and walked towards Cheng Yuheng's courtyard together. The atmosphere was solemn and a little depressing. Bian Sanson and Lu Daokan also dragged their tired bodies over. The two of them also had to be prepared at all times to deal with possible emergencies. Soon, the 6 people stood in the center of Cheng Yuheng's courtyard. Su Chen first signaled to Bian Sanson and Lu Daokan to let them stay away. After all, neither of them was a martial artist, and the energy of the Kyang concealing star array was extremely huge. Even if a trace of breath leaked out, it would be a disaster for both of them. Master, be careful. Bian Sanson and Lu Daokan looked worried. In fact, they had something else to say, but it was not convenient to say it at this time. They really wanted to remind Su Chen that, if the treatment of Cheng Yuheng failed, they hoped that Su Chen would focus on self-protection. Unlike ordinary treatment, Cheng Yuheng's treatment plan this time was extremely dangerous and there was a high possibility of backlash. However, Cheng Shai and Feng was right next to them, so they couldn't say such words. The two handed Su Chen a golden needle and a silver needle, and then left the courtyard. At this time, Su Chen looked at the other 3 people and nodded. Let's start. With Su Chen's order, Cheng Shai and Feng, Cheng Shai and Sin and Zhang Tai'an each held a magic weapon and stepped forward. According to Su Chen's previous arrangement, the 3 of them walked to 3 different directions. Zhang Tai'an held the mountain and river ruler in his hand. This magic weapon is a simple and heavy long ruler. The material looks a bit like bronze, but it is heavier than bronze. The mountain and river ruler is engraved with towering mountains on one side and rushing rivers on the other. There are also sun, moon, and stars on it, and there are other simple and complex runes below it. The front and back ends are each in the shape of a square mark. Legend has it that in ancient times, the earth was flat, and there were no mountains or rivers. There was no wind or water, and it was not suitable for all things to grow. Later, the immortals came down from the sky. The immortals measured the earth, built mountains, drew rivers, and transformed an environment suitable for the growth of all things, which is how all living things came into being. The ruler used by the immortals is called the mountain and river ruler. Later, a Feng Shui master reproduced the mountain and river ruler. Although he could not build mountains or draw rivers, he also had the ability to change Feng Shui by using the mountains. Of course, the mountain and river ruler of the Feng Shui master was later unknown. The mountain and river ruler of the Cheng family was made according to the mountain and river ruler reproduced by the Feng Shui master. This ruler was even used by the royal family in ancient times. Later, as time went by, this ruler came into the hands of the Cheng family. Although the power of this mountain and river ruler is far less than that of the legendary Feng Shui master, let alone the one in the hands of the immortal, it is definitely a treasure in the world. This mountain and river ruler contains the universe and can mobilize the earth energy within 3 kilometers around. Although it is not an offensive magic weapon for the main battle, if it is used in combat, its power is amazing. Of course, if it can be combined with the formation, it is no problem to cross the level and kill the enemy. Zhang Taiyan stood at the center of the main formation, using the mountain and river ruler to borrow the power of the earth energy to activate the Kyankan star sealing formation. Cheng Shai and Feng stood at the center of the secondary formation, holding the star sealing net. When this net is held in the hand, it looks no bigger than a fishing net. But the material used to make the star sealing net is extremely special. This is a very rare magic weapon that can absorb spiritual power. After injecting spiritual power, the star sealing net can expand rapidly. In principle, if the spiritual power is sufficient, this net can even grow to the extent of the star sealing net moon. In addition, it can also be said that the star sealing net is a magic weapon specifically for spiritual power practitioners. It can be put on yourself to be immune to spiritual power attacks. It can also be put on the enemy to absorb the enemy's spiritual power. And if a spiritual power cultivator has no spiritual power to use, the consequences can be imagined. Now, what Cheng Shai and Feng has to do is to seal the power of the stars in the formation after the formation is running to prevent the power in the formation from radiating. Otherwise, once the power of the formation is radiated, it will be an absolute devastating blow to all living things around. The other 2 magic weapons, the Heavenly Heart Needle and the Extreme Cold Glaze Cover, are in the hands of Su Chen and Cheng Shiansen. Su Chen holds the Heavenly Heart Needle. Cheng Shiansen holds the Extreme Cold Glaze Cover and follows him closely. Su Chen and Zhang Taiyan look at each other and nod. The formation starts. Zhang Taiyan hears the command and immediately activates the mountain and river ruler. Boom. In an instant, under the earth, there seemed to be a sound of dragon roaring. The next second, everyone saw that streams of pale yellow earth energy, attracted by the mountain and river ruler, gushed out from the ground continuously. The ancient mountain and river ruler suddenly emitted a golden light. Get up! Zhang Taiyan shouted. He guided the earth energy in the mountain and river ruler and injected it into the foundation of the formation. But the Kyankan sealing star formation moved in response. The yellow earth energy spread rapidly like a spider web. In a moment, the majestic earth energy turned into an inverted giant bowl, covering the courtyard. The 8-sided formation base, the 9 stars in the sky were sealed. Streams of pale blue starlight fell from the sky, as if the Milky Way in the sky was tilted, and was continuously absorbed into the formation. Su Chen carefully checked it, and made sure that the formation was running completely without any mistakes. After that, he took the Shiangxin needle, and walked towards Cheng Yuheng in the house. Fighting for life with the sky, it has begun. Second update. Good night, everyone. It's been a very tiring Chinese New Year. Let's go to bed early. Chapter 712, Magical Key C. Su Chen took the Shiangxin needle and walked into the room. Cheng Shiansen, holding the extremely cold glass cover, followed Su Chen closely. At this moment, Cheng Shiansen had already put away his dandy appearance, with a serious face and solemn eyes. He lowered his head from time to time, looking at the extremely cold glass cover in his hand, praying in his heart that he would never use this thing. Because this is just the last insurance measure. Once the extremely cold glass cover is used, it means that the treatment has failed, and Cheng Yuheng will most likely die. The extremely cold glass cover is made of ice crystals containing rich ice-attributed vitality taken out from the glacier for thousands of years. And the function of this thing is to freeze vitality. Su Chen said that, if the treatment fails, he will forcibly seal Cheng Yuheng's last breath of life at the critical moment. At this time, Cheng Xianxin needs to put on the extremely cold glass cover for Cheng Yuheng in time. Use this magic weapon to force Cheng Yuheng's life force to freeze in the flesh to keep the flesh alive. But if that happens, Cheng Yuheng will be dead. Get ready. I'm going to start. Su Chen told Cheng Xianxin. Next, I will need at least 4 hours to treat Miss Cheng. If there is any accident during this period, I will give you a message immediately. You must be ready at any time. Cheng Xianxin let out a long breath and nodded solemnly. Brother, start. You will definitely succeed. I have confidence in you. Su Chen nodded. I hope so. After that, Su Chen looked at the Xianxin needle in his hand. This is a needle about the same thickness as the little finger. It is made of jade and is crystal clear. It contains a ray of Xianxin Qi, which can be used on the heart. If someone's heart is shattered in a battle, there is even a chance to save it with the Xianxin needle. This shows the heaven-defying effect of this Xianxin Qi. Although Cheng Yuheng's heart is fine, but her heart is damaged, and she must be repaired with the Xianxin needle before she can start. Su Chen mobilized his mental power and inserted the needle accurately. Puff. When the Xianxin needle fell, Cheng Yuheng reacted immediately. Hiss. She opened her mouth slightly and inhaled a stream of air. Her eyelids also began to blink slightly, as if she was about to wake up from a coma. But Su Chen knew that this was just an illusion. The Xianxin needle opened Cheng Yuheng's blocked heart, and her weak body was replenished. However, Cheng Yuheng's spirit was still severely damaged, and it was impossible to attach to the body at all, let alone the power to control the body. Sure enough, soon, Cheng Yuheng's eyelids stopped shaking and regained calm. Su Chen calculated the time accurately, and immediately took action after the Xianxin needle took effect. Borrow the power of the stars to seal. Su Chen shouted. He urged his mental power to pull the power of the stars absorbed by the formation. Then, with the help of his vitality, he controlled the silver needle. As Su Chen shouted, a silver light, like a stream of water, tilted down from the dome of the room. Then, the mental power released by Su Chen was pulled onto the silver needle. People have 7 orifices and 8 meridians. Among them, the 7 orifices are where the spirit is attached and controlled. The 8 meridians, on the other hand, run through the whole body and are the channels for transporting energy needed by various parts of the body. Cheng Yuheng's talent is too strong. Now, to perform the seal, it is not only necessary to seal her physical body, but also to seal part of her spiritual power. That is, the Niwen Palace. Otherwise, with her talent, she will soon be able to break through the physical seal and thus once again attract the suppression of the rules of heaven and earth. This kind of thing is not something that Cheng Yuheng can control. Before she has enough strength, even if she deliberately suppresses her cultivation speed, she will continue to make progress. However, Cheng Yuheng's body is unable to support her speed of progress. In other words, this world cannot accommodate her. Soon, the first star power was taken down. It is Xianpeng star, which controls the kidneys and controls blood. This needle sealed Cheng Yuheng's kidney meridians. Su Chen's mental power covered Cheng Yuheng. He clearly saw the changes in Cheng Yuheng's body. With the influx of star power, Cheng Yuheng's kidney meridians were wrapped in a layer of light blue light curtain. Several major acupoints on her kidneys were also wrapped in a layer of light blue light curtain. This wrapping is like a gatekeeper. It does not affect the entry of energy, but it has strict control over the output of energy. It took an hour for this star power to seal the kidney meridian. Su Chen was calm on the surface, but he could not help being shocked in his heart. This Cheng Yuheng is really a genius. The internal structure of her body is extremely magical. Cheng Yuheng's sea of qi is also different from that of ordinary people. It is a sea of qi with special properties. The sea of qi of ordinary people is just a sea of qi, which only plays a role of absorbing and preserving vital energy. As for the attribute of vital energy, it requires a method to convert it, or to obtain special vital energy. However, Cheng Yuheng's sea of qi is born with the attribute of ice. To put it bluntly, even if Cheng Yuheng practices ordinary exercises and absorbs ordinary vital energy, her sea of qi can also automatically convert ordinary vital energy into ice vital energy. Moreover, the quality is extremely high. This is equivalent to eating grass and pulling out milk. Automatically upgrade the attribute of vital energy and change a shotgun to a cannon. If she were to choose a suitable technique, her combat power would be doubled compared to that of an ordinary practitioner. If she were to cultivate her vital energy, her achievements would not be much lower than her mental strength. This made Su Chen sigh. God was too good to Cheng Yuheng. Her appearance was impeccable and her talent was amazing. It was a pity that, for some reason, Cheng Yuheng did not follow the path of vital energy. If Su Chen's vital energy had not entered her sea of qi, she would not have discovered this situation. Logically speaking, with the background of the Cheng family, her talent should be visible. Then why not let her develop on both sides? If Cheng Yuheng practiced vital energy at the same time, perhaps her body would not be as bad as it is now. Suppressing the doubts in his heart, Su Chen took a breath and continued to apply acupuncture. The second needle fell. This time, it was the star power of Shinran star that was drawn to seal the spleen. The third needle drew the star power of Juman star to seal the muscles and bones. The fourth needle, to draw the star power of Lukun star. Su Chen gave one needle after another. Although it was difficult, it was relatively smooth. Su Chen let out a long sigh and calmed down. The sealing had been completed by 2/3 to this point. However, at this time, Su Chen's mental power had been consumed by nearly half. He had already felt a horrible consumption of mental power. Su Chen calculated silently. If he continued to consume at this rate, he might run out of mental power before the seal was completed. Su Chen did not expect that the consumption of mental power would be so serious. He thought that with the help of the Kyankan star sealing array, if he only drew the power of the stars, his consumption should not be too great. Therefore, he only prepared pills to replenish his vitality. However, at this moment, the mental power was in a critical situation, which became a big problem. First update. Chapter 713 The Genius Wakes Up. Zhou Wanqiu. Su Chen called Cheng Xianxin. Ever since Cheng Xianxin recognized Su Chen as his elder brother, he had been asking Su Chen to call him Brother Zen. Su Chen couldn't say that, so he changed to calling him the eldest in the family. Brother, what's wrong? Cheng Xianxin heard the noise and subconsciously took out the extremely cold glass cover and asked nervously. Su Chen asked, does your Cheng family have items to replenish spiritual power? He told Cheng Xianxin about the current situation. So that's how it is. Cheng Xianxin breathed a sigh of relief. As long as Cheng Yuheng didn't have any problems, everything would be fine. Brother, don't worry, if the spiritual power is not enough by then, I have my own way to help you make up for it. Cheng Xianxin patted his chest and promised. Su Chen saw Cheng Xianxin so confident, so he said no more. Turning his head, he continued to insert the needle. Another 5 hours passed. Cheng Yuheng's 8 meridians were finally sealed. At this time, Su Chen's mental power was almost exhausted, but Cheng Yuheng still had 7 orifices left. Zhou Wanqiu, I need to replenish my mental power. Su Chen turned his head and looked at Cheng Xianxin. Cheng Xianxin nodded. Then, he took out the compass he used when fighting Liu Yuan Wu. Cheng Xianxin continuously injected his mental power into the compass. Then, in the compass, the phantoms of mountains, rivers, and rivers appeared one by one. Then, a pure mental power without any willpower gushed out like a wave. Su Chen only needed to operate the mental power technique for a while to absorb and replenish it directly. Wow. This is more convenient than a power bank. Su Chen was quite surprised. He had never seen such a way to replenish mental power. The Cheng family in Shangjing is indeed a family that specializes in mental power. The control of mental power is incomparable to ordinary people. Su Chen glanced at the compass in Cheng Xianxin's hand and couldn't help but feel a little moved. It seems that he also needs to get a magic weapon that can be shown off. After replenishing his spiritual power, Su Chen collected his mind and continued to seal Cheng Yuheng with needles. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. As the silver needles pierced down, the power of the stars fell one after another and were injected into Cheng Yuheng's 7 orifices. If the physical seal can be likened to adding a protective cover to a weak place, then the spiritual power seal is to plug the entrance of the pipeline with a wooden plug, sealing the spiritual power of the spirit god in the 7 orifices, preventing it from emitting any power. In this way, the rules of heaven and earth can be deceived, creating an illusion that Cheng Yuheng, the uncertain factor, has been wiped out. Without a target, the rules of heaven and earth will naturally not attack again. While sealing the orifices, Su Chen flicked his fingers. Whoosh! A pill fell into Cheng Yuhang's mouth. The pill melted in the mouth and turned into surging energy to replenish Cheng Yuhang's body functions. At this time, Cheng Yuhang's spirit god has gradually condensed, but the quality level has dropped a lot. It can be said that he has directly changed from a fairy master at the peak of the divine realm to the appearance of a beginner in the divine realm. At this time, the seal has reached the last acupoint. Seal! Su Chen shouted. The last ray of star power was injected into Cheng Yuhang's mouth. For a moment, Cheng Yuhang's whole body was shining, but in a short period of time, he instantly regained his calm. The seal is completed. Brother, how is it? Cheng Xianxin looked nervous. Su Chen pointed at Cheng Yuhang. Look. Cheng Xianxin turned his head to look. I saw Cheng Yuhang breathing evenly and his complexion was rosy. The next second, Cheng Yuhang's eyelashes began to tremble. This time, she is really going to wake up. Outside the door, Cheng Xianfeng and Zhang Taiyan waited silently. The atmosphere between the two was very silent. Cheng Xianfeng has always been calm and composed, but at this moment his face is full of anxiety and worry. He has been wearing such an expression all night. At this time, click, the door opened. Cheng Xianfeng looked over quickly. I saw Cheng Xianxin frowning and walking out with a constipated expression. Cheng Xianfeng looked at Cheng Xianxin expectantly. Cheng Xianxin said, it's time to withdraw the formation. Hearing this, Cheng Xianfeng and Zhang Taiyan worked together to withdraw their power. In an instant, the heaven and earth sealing star formation slowly stopped operating. At this moment, Zhang Taiyan clearly felt that his perception had finally returned. That night, he was not feeling well in the formation. Zhang Taiyan felt as if he was isolated from this world. People who practice Taoism would have some sense of the development of all things in the world. But when he was isolated by the Qiang concealing star formation, he completely lost this sense. It was like an ordinary person with his eyes covered and his ears blocked. It was not until the formation was removed that he felt like he was back in the world. It's really worthy of being the 9th level formation of my uncle. Although it is now limited by the foundation of the formation and can only exert the power of the 8th level formation, the mystery in it cannot be underestimated. Zhang Taiyan sighed in his heart. Cheng Xianfeng, who was standing aside, had no time to feel this difference. He looked at Cheng Xianxin eagerly and couldn't wait to ask, 7th brother, how is it? How is it? Did Mr. Su succeed? Did Yuhang recover? He stared at Cheng Xianxin. His expression was both expectant and worried. It was obviously very simple. Just rush into the house and take a look and you will know the answer. But at this moment, Cheng Xianfeng didn't dare to go into the house directly, but wanted to find a reassuring answer. When Cheng Xianxin heard this question, his face showed a tangled look. He looked at Cheng Xianfeng, opened his mouth, and then closed it again, with an expression of wanting to say something, but not saying it. Zhang Taiyan saw that he looked wrong, and came over to ask, what's wrong? Did you fail? Hearing this, Cheng Xianfeng's body shook and his face turned pale. He swallowed his saliva and asked anxiously, 7th brother, what happened to Yuhang? Speak. Cheng Xianxin said helplessly, 2nd brother, you should go in and take a look yourself. After speaking, Cheng Xianxin turned around and pushed open the door. Cheng Xianfeng didn't know the situation, and his legs and feet were weak, and followed him in. Behind him, followed by Zhang Taiyan, and by Ansansan and Lu Daokan who had just walked in from outside the courtyard. The 4 people rushed into the house eagerly. Cheng Xianfeng was very fast, and arrived in the house in almost the blink of an eye. However, the moment of entering the house was unusually long for him. In this moment, he guessed a lot, but the result that he could not accept the most always lingered in his mind. Cheng Xianfeng's heart had sunk to the bottom of the valley, and he could only keep encouraging himself in his heart. However, when he entered the house, he was still dumbfounded when he saw the scene in front of him. Brother. Cheng Yuhang's silver bell-like laughter echoed in the room. At this time, Su Chen was sitting on the side of Qiangang Babu's bed, and Cheng Yuhang, with an innocent smile on his face, played around Su Chen. Su Chen endured his fatigue and looked at Cheng Yuhang with a headache. He was also very confused. Chen Yuheng seemed to be well, but not completely well. At this time, Chen Yuheng got a small handkerchief from somewhere and kept covering Su Chen's head. Brother, cover. The second update is here. Good night, everyone. If nothing unexpected happens tomorrow, I should be able to update 3 more times. Thank you for your tolerance and understanding. Everyone, go to bed early. Chapter 714 Su Chen is entangled. Chen Yuheng took a small handkerchief and kept covering Su Chen's head. Su Chen smiled bitterly and took off the small handkerchief covering his face. Chen Yuheng, on the other hand, picked up the small handkerchief tirelessly and covered his head again. Brother, cover. Chen Yuheng's voice was very beautiful, like the sound of nature. However, the tone and accent of her voice seemed very strange. Chen Xianfeng was stunned on the spot. During the days when Chen Yuheng was in a coma, he wanted to hear his daughter's voice again all the time. However, after hearing Chen Yuheng's voice again at this time, Chen Xianfeng was struck by lightning. Yuheng, my son. Chen Xianfeng's eyes were red, and he stepped forward. He stretched out his hand to Chen Yuheng with trembling hands and called her. Chen Yuheng felt someone approaching. She raised her head and looked at Chen Xianfeng. Yuheng, I'm your father. Chen Xianfeng's lips trembled. He was tense and looked at Chen Yuheng. Unexpectedly, seeing Chen Xianfeng coming, Chen Yuheng was like a frightened little white rabbit and immediately hid behind Su Chen. Brother, I'm scared. Hiding behind Su Chen, Chen Yuheng tilted his head again, poked his head out from Su Chen's shoulder, and observed Chen Xianfeng with panic on his face. Seeing this scene, Chen Xianfeng felt black in front of his eyes and his brain was dizzy. What's going on? Chen Xianfeng looked at Su Chen. He suppressed his anger and asked, Mr. Su, why did Yuheng become like this? Alive. But it seems stupid. How can Chen Yuheng be the young master of the Cheng family like this? Unable to be the young master of the Cheng family, without sufficient status and strength. She is so beautiful, how can she protect herself in the future? Chen Xianfeng is only worried that he can't protect her all his life. Not only Chen Xianfeng, but even Bian Sanson and Lu Daokan on the side, were dumbfounded when they saw Chen Yuheng like this. Su Chen once again took the trouble to pull the pink handkerchief off her head. Dragging his tired body, he explained with all his strength, Miss Cheng's 7 orifices are sealed, her spiritual consciousness is damaged, and her past memories are also affected. Now, her intelligence level is probably only about 4 or 5 years old. 7 orifices connect people with the world. It is related to the 7 kinds of spiritual consciousness and the 7 kinds of emotions of people. This is an indispensable thing for a complete adult. Chen Yuheng's spiritual consciousness was already damaged, and now her 7 orifices are completely sealed. This is equivalent to sealing it up after being damaged. In addition to amnesia, she completely forgot that before she completely forgot that her behavior and cognition were similar to those of a child. So, she became like this now. Now, she is very wary of everyone except Su Chen. Anyone approaching may cause her panic. Therefore, even if Chen Xianfeng, her biological father, wants to get close, he has to restrain himself. Chen Xianfeng was very heartbroken. At this time, Bian Sanson asked, Master, why is young Master Cheng so dependent on and close to you? Bian Sanson was very confused. In theory, the human body has blood attraction. Even if Chen Yuheng lost her memory, she should have a natural sense of closeness when facing Chen Xianfeng, her biological father. This is the safety brought by genetic blood. Unless Chen Xianfeng often abused Chen Yuheng before. Otherwise, she shouldn't be close to her biological father. Su Chen explained, her spirit is still there. When I gave her acupuncture, her spirit was always there. Although she has become a child now due to physical reasons. But her spirit knows that I saved her. So, she subconsciously knows that I will not harm her, so she will be close to me. Everyone suddenly realized it. Su Chen continued, in addition, when she opened her eyes, the first thing she saw was me. So, in terms of cognition, she is closer to me by accident. This feeling is like a chick breaking out of its shell. Whoever it sees at first sight will be regarded as its mother. In this way, Speaking of this, Su Chen also had a painful expression. To be honest, he didn't want to be like this. After all, if he could choose, Su Chen would rather Cheng Yuheng didn't know him at all. But now, Cheng Yuheng only recognizes him. On the side, Cheng Xianfeng's eyes were red. He suppressed his temper and asked, "Mr. Su, is there any hope for Yuheng to recover? Is there any other problem with her body? Also, is her strength still there?" As a father, Cheng Xianfeng is most concerned about Cheng Yuheng's health. Su Chen pondered for a long time and said, "It should be recoverable. She is not injured at all and can be slowly repaired through acupuncture and natural treasures. However, this will take time to study." Su Chen has never encountered such a situation. Even if he wants to treat it, he doesn't know where to start. Cheng Xianfeng was relieved when he heard that there was still hope for treatment. He looked at Cheng Yuheng again. As a result, Cheng Yuheng still timidly hid behind Su Chen, looking at him cautiously. Cheng Xianfeng was happy and sad. Now that his daughter can escape death, it is already a blessing in disguise. Even if she is so dependent on Su Chen now, it is just a flaw in the ointment. Besides, Cheng Xianfeng looked at Su Chen deeply again. Whether this is a bad thing or a good thing, it may not be known yet. Cheng Xianfeng pondered for a moment, clasped his fists, and bowed to Su Chen, saying, "Mr. Su, since Yuheng is like this now, I can only trouble you to take care of her more." As soon as these words came out, Cheng Xianxin looked at his second brother with a surprised face. Did he hear it right? The second brother is a daughter slave, and he has always disliked any man. Now, he actually took the initiative to let someone take care of his daughter? This is not right. Under normal circumstances, seeing that Yuheng is not close to him, but to other men, the second brother should have exploded long ago. Why is he not only not jealous today, but even took the initiative to hand his daughter over to Su Chen? Cheng Xianxin was puzzled. Suddenly, Cheng Xianxin took a breath of cold air, and he finally came back to his senses. It turns out that the second brother actually has such a plan. Cheng Xianxin looked up and down at Su Chen with interest. If this is true, it seems to be really good. But Su Chen was a little confused when he heard this. "Are you going to leave Cheng Yuheng to me to take care of?" Su Chen hesitated, thinking to himself. It's not that he is not happy about it. After all, he is also a normal man with normal aesthetics. Cheng Yuheng is so beautiful that he doesn't seem to be an ordinary creature in this world. Looking at her a few more times will make him feel better. How could he not be happy to take care of her? Besides, Cheng Yuheng's condition is special, and it is also a research pleasure for Su Chen, who is passionate about medicine. However, he is really unable to extricate himself now. There are too many things to do. The old grudge with Jinglin Villa has not been resolved, and a new feud has been made with the Liu family in Shangjing. Now, he is asked to stay here and take care of Cheng Yuheng with peace of mind. He really can't do it. It's difficult. First update. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story, and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 715, Family Gift. Su Chen thought about it carefully. He said, "Mr. Cheng, don't worry. I will not ignore Miss Cheng's affairs." Su Chen made a promise first. Then, he continued, "However, her current condition cannot be cured overnight, and it should take a long time. Now, she is no longer in danger of life, and does not need my care day and night. I will leave first. If Miss Cheng has any questions in the future, you can come to me at any time. How about it?" Su Chen has been in the Cheng family villa for a long time because of Cheng Yuheng. He doesn't know what the situation is outside now. No matter what, he has to go back to see Zhou Wanqiu first. Although Cheng Yuheng is amazing, but in Su Chen's heart, Zhou Wanqiu's status is undoubtedly higher. After all, she is his nominal wife, and she is also the granddaughter of Mr. Zhou Rangchang. I haven't seen her for more than 10 days. I don't know if Zhou Wanqiu's project has been completed, and I don't know if the Liu family will continue to make moves. Cheng Xianfeng said, "Mr. Su, you don't have to move out." As he spoke, He sent a message to Cheng-san. Su Chen looked puzzled. Cheng Xianfeng explained, Mr. Su, according to my previous promise, whoever can cure Yu Heng, I, Cheng Xianfeng, will give you a generous gift. One of the conditions is that my Cheng family will give you a villa with a 6th level formation, and the location can be chosen at will. Hearing this, Su Chen looked at Cheng Xianfeng in surprise. Before, he really didn't know what conditions the Cheng family gave. He just heard Bian Sanson mention it, saying that the conditions of the Cheng family made the divine doctors on the Saint Handless jealous. Su Chen didn't come for the generous gifts from the Cheng family, but he didn't expect the Cheng family to be so generous. Although this courtyard is a villa, it takes a lot of effort to arrange Cheng Yu Heng. Cheng Xianfeng introduced, although this villa is not big, the formation is a 6th level formation. This formation has the effect of gathering ki and increasing luck. If there is an invasion by foreign enemies, you can also switch to a defensive formation. Hearing this, Bian Sanson and Lu Daokan couldn't help but show envy. Apart from other things, the effect of gathering ki alone made the two of them envious. If they develop it here, and use it to cultivate medicinal materials, that year may be enough to equal the effect of 10 years outside. It is naturally twice as effective for cultivation. Moreover, it can also transform the defensive formation. You know, even the 6th level initial defensive formation can withstand the attack of the strong in the divine realm. Cheng Xianfeng continued, Mr. Su, you don't have to leave. If you like this villa, choose it. Su Chen was a little entangled. This villa is indeed extremely precious. If the Cheng family spreads the word to sell it, people with a net worth of tens of billions will not even be qualified to come and buy it. It's just a priceless thing, and I don't know how many families will fight for it. Now Cheng Xianfeng said to give it away. Su Chen felt a little embarrassed. After all, he felt that he had only wasted a few days of time and energy, and even the magic weapon was prepared by the Cheng family. Brother, just accept it. Cheng Xianfeng saw Su Chen's hesitation, and persuaded him directly, no need to save money for the Cheng family, the Cheng family has plenty. Su Chen was not a person who was nagging, and he just needed such a place. He immediately bowed and said, thank you very much. With this villa, Zhou Wanqiu's safety can be more easily guaranteed. Seeing Su Chen accept it, Cheng Xianfeng was very happy. He looked at Cheng Xianfeng and continued, second brother, don't be stingy. My eldest brother saved my eldest niece's life, which is equivalent to saving the future of the Cheng family. Be generous and bring out some more good things. Cheng Xianfeng smiled playfully, and looked like the son sells the father's land without feeling sorry. He knew that his second brother could get a lot of good things from the Cheng family. Instead of giving those good things to others, it would be better to give them to Su Chen. Cheng Xianfeng smiled mysteriously. There are indeed some other things. Cheng-san will bring them over later. However, the most important and precious treasure is in Shangjing, and Mr. Su will need to go to Shangjing to collect it himself. As he was talking, Cheng-san came over with 3 brocade boxes. Second master, the things are here. Cheng-san bowed respectfully, raised his hands, and held the brocade boxes in front of Cheng Xianfeng. Cheng Xianfeng picked up the top brocade box, and handed it to Su Chen. Mr. Su, this is the medical saint's golden needle, that I promised before. Upon hearing this, Bian Sanson and Lu Daokan rushed forward, their eyes shining. The medical saint's golden needle is one of the most famous magic weapons in medicine. It is said that it is the golden needle used by the medical saint Hu Zhanren. This set of golden needles is forged with 5 element of gold, and it was forged by the top formation masters and mechanical masters for 3 years. The so-called 5 element of gold is that the gold carrier contains the power of the other 5 element, and then achieves the balance of the 5 element under extremely harsh conditions. Not to mention that the medical saint Hu Zhanren has used it. This material alone is already a holy product of medicine. The human body is full of mysteries, and different parts of the body correspond to different 5 element. If some organs are sick, if silver needles are inserted, it may conflict with the gold property, and both gold and silver needles will have a counter effect. But if the needles are not inserted, there will be a danger to life, which is a great test for the doctor. But if the 5 element of gold are used, there will be no such trouble. Su Chen took the brocade box and a smile appeared on his face. He could tell at a glance that this needle was extraordinary. The needle formed a formation by itself, absorbing the 5 elements of heaven and earth, and there was no need for the acupuncturist to inject vitality. With this needle, even ordinary doctors can achieve miraculous effects. This is great. Su Chen's eyes lit up. With this set of medical saint gold needles, combined with his longevity vitality, he can even heal his internal injuries quickly during battle. The second item is a 500-year-old Polygonum multiflorum that contains a wisp of longevity vitality. In terms of quality, it is definitely an excellent elixir. This thing, whether it is used for medicinal purposes or for the doctor's own use, can bring endless benefits. However, because the previous medical saint's golden needle was too dazzling, and Su Chen had the vitality of immortality in his body, he was not too surprised by this Polygonum multiflorum. As for the last item, it is a level 5 offensive array. The doctor is weak, and it is difficult to protect himself if he encounters danger. But with this array, even if the enemy is in the middle stage of the divine realm, it is enough for the other party to drink a pot. Su Chen nodded secretly. Even if this villa is not counted, just the 3 things that Cheng Shai and Feng took later are enough to arouse the jealousy of the divine doctors on the saint hand list. No wonder Bian Sanson even put aside his prejudice against Lu Daoken and pulled him over to cooperate in treating Cheng Yuheng. Any one of these things is enough to make them crazy. However, Su Chen is now more curious. The few things Cheng Shai and Feng took out now are already so precious. But he said that there are more precious and more important gifts in Shangjing. What kind of treasure is that? Second update. Chapter 716 Secrets Everywhere. Su Chen said politely, these things are a bit too precious. Cheng Shai and Feng waved his hand. He said, Mr. Su, these are the conditions I set for saving her life. Now that you have saved Yu Heng's life, these things should belong to you. Now that Yu Heng is in this state, if Mr. Su can heal her again, my Cheng family will never let you work in vain, and will definitely reward you generously in the future. Cheng Shai and Feng is a man of rules. In any case, Su Chen did save Cheng Yuheng's life. Even if the result is a bit hard to accept now, at least his daughter will not die at any time. Cheng Shai and Feng said earnestly, Yu Heng is just recovering from her injuries now. If Mr. Su is not around to take care of her, I'm afraid that, if something goes wrong, others will not be able to deal with it in time. Why not let Yu Heng stay with Mr. Su for a while? First, it will be convenient for you to treat her, and second, I will be relieved. Wait until I return to Shangjing and deal with the affairs of the clan. When Yu Heng's condition is stable, I will take her away. As for the medical expenses, Cheng Shai and Feng has not thought about it. But as long as Su Chen asked, he would not refuse. Su Chen looked at Cheng Shai and Feng, a little puzzled. He felt that the other party's attitude was a little strange. It's not that Cheng Shai and Feng had any ill intentions. He cared deeply for Cheng Yuheng and wished that he would suffer for her. There is no doubt about that. What made Su Chen feel strange was how Cheng Shai and Feng could be so confident in himself. Such a beautiful Cheng Yuheng now turned into this. How could Cheng Shai and Feng be willing to let him take care of her? If he had any bad thoughts, with Cheng Yuheng's current state, could she escape? But Cheng Shai and Feng's love and care for Cheng Yuheng were not false at all, which was very contradictory. Cheng Shai and Feng now gave Su Chen a feeling of entrusting his orphan to someone in danger. Mr. Cheng. Su Chen wanted to ask, but when the words came to his lips, he swallowed them back. After thinking about it, Su Chen nodded solemnly and said, don't worry, I will take good care of my patients. Sure enough, after Su Chen said this, Cheng Shai and Feng's eyes were obviously relaxed. Su Chen understood. Cheng Shai did have a hidden secret, and he had no choice but to entrust Cheng Yuheng to his care. Su Chen felt a little helpless. He was very clear about his current situation, which could be described as being surrounded by external enemies and in constant trouble. Now, it seems that he is involved in the vortex of the Cheng family again. I don't know if the next storm will become more intense. It seems that I must improve my strength first. Cheng Shai and Feng looked at Su Chen gratefully and said, in this case, I will go back to Shangjing this afternoon. Cheng Shai and Feng said, looking at Cheng San. Cheng San, you stay. Next, you have to follow Mr. Su's instructions and take good care of Yu Heng. Cheng San was delighted. He nodded and agreed quickly. It's not that he didn't want to go with Cheng Xianfeng, but he had decided to let Su Chen treat his Niwen palace. At this time, he naturally didn't want to leave Dongzhou province. At this time, Cheng Xiansun, who had a frivolous look, seemed to have thought of something, and his face suddenly became serious. Second brother, or, should I go back with you? He looked at Cheng Xianfeng with a worried look. No need. Cheng Xianfeng flatly refused. You stay here too. I will handle the Shangjing matter myself. His eyes were deep. If he couldn't handle the Shangjing family's affairs well, how could he dare to think about other things? On the side, Zhang Taiyan sighed in his heart. The world can only see the glorious side of people standing on high places, but never see that there is a bottomless abyss behind them. However, he is an outsider. Even if he wants to help, he can't help his old friend. Then, Cheng Xianfeng looked at Cheng Yuheng with a face of pity. My dear daughter, Dad will leave in the afternoon. You are here. You must listen to Mr. Su and cooperate with Mr. Su's treatment. As he spoke, he reached out to touch Cheng Yuheng. However, brother, Cheng Yuheng was like a frightened little white rabbit, hiding behind Su Chen immediately, nervously grabbing Su Chen's sleeve. Cheng Xianfeng had no choice but to withdraw his hand. Whatever. As long as she is safe and happy. Cheng Xianfeng made all kinds of arrangements for the whole afternoon. He first arranged a divine woman to protect Cheng Yuheng. In addition, he gave the villa to Su Chen. He took the villa out of the Cheng family and gave it to Su Chen. After arranging everything, Cheng Xianfeng met with Su Chen again before leaving. Su Chen looked at Cheng Xianfeng and asked, Mr. Cheng, since you entrusted your daughter to me, you must have some trust in me. I have a question. I don't know if I should ask it. Cheng Xianfeng smiled and asked, are you going to ask about my troubles? Cheng Xianfeng had guessed it without Su Chen asking. Su Chen nodded. He felt that with Cheng Xianfeng's strength and background, few people should be able to deal with him. Unless. Cheng Xianfeng chuckled. The Cheng family has always been united to the outside world and never easily takes sides. But there are indeed some disputes inside. However, as long as my father is here, you can rest assured to protect Yuheng. No resources of the Cheng family will target you. Cheng Xianfeng gave Su Chen a reassurance. However, he was very secretive about his own troubles. Not to mention Su Chen, even the people of the Cheng family knew very little about it. That was his own business, there was no need to involve others. I see that your Yang Shen has solidified by 50% to 60%. Here are 4 Yang Yuan Dan, which should be able to help you solidify it completely. Cheng Xianfeng took out a jade bottle and handed it to Su Chen. He said, this is the prepayment of the consultation fee. If Su Chen's mental power breaks through to the level of Immortal Master, he can also better protect Cheng Yuheng. No matter how you calculate this wave, Cheng Xianfeng will not lose. By the way, there is one more thing. Cheng Xianfeng was thinking about something again. He hesitated and said, if you are not closely related to the Zhou family, you should keep your distance from them as soon as possible. The Zhou family is hidden in a small town in Dongzhou province. It seems inconspicuous, but in fact, it hides a huge secret. It's not just the Liu family that is eyeing the Zhou family in Shangjing. You have to know that there are big crocodiles behind the Liu family. Cheng Xianfeng reminded, some things are not accessible to you at your current level, and they are not something you can solve with your strength. After saying this, Cheng Xianfeng turned around and left, as if he was afraid that Su Chen would ask more questions. Su Chen opened his mouth to ask, but there was no chance. Su Chen's forehead was full of question marks. He was puzzled. What happened to the Zhou family? This was the second time. The second time someone told him so solemnly that the Zhou family had a secret. What secret was it that could attract the attention of the big guys in Shangjing? Money? Strength? Resources? Su Chen felt that none of them were reliable. It was impossible for them to have more money than the nobles in Shangjing. Strength? If the Zhou family really had strength, could they still be suppressed like this? Resources? If there are resources, how can there be no strength? Su Chen's doubts were not solved, but more. The secrets of his parents, the Zhou family, his grandfather, Cheng Xianfeng. There are secrets everywhere. Each one is related to him, and it is difficult to ignore it. The third update. Finally resumed 3 updates. The update is over. Good night everyone. It will slowly return to normal later. Thank you for your support and understanding. Chapter 717 Weird Reaction. After sending Cheng Shai and Feng away, Su Chen finally had some free time. Next, he wanted to go out and see how Zhou Wanqiu was doing, and then see if the Liu family in Jinglin Villa had any conspiracy. However, before he could go out, Cheng Yuheng caught up with him. Chen, I'm going to. Cheng Yuheng followed him out like a tail. She carefully pulled Su Chen's sleeve, with uneasiness in her eyes. This pitiful look, appearing on her beautiful face, is extremely lethal to men. Su Chen looked helpless. He could only coax her and said, I'm going out to do something, and will be back soon. You go play with your 7th uncle first. However, Cheng Yuheng kept shaking her head and said, no, the 7th uncle is bad and ugly. I want to go with you. Her spirit was injured. She was confused and not sober. In her subconscious, there was only one familiar person like Su Chen. Only when she was with Su Chen did she feel safe. When she saw others, she would be uncontrollably afraid. This is the body's instinctive self-protection mechanism. Cheng Xianxin came over and heard this, and he was very angry. Hey, Uncle Qi loves you in vain. Cheng Xianxin snorted, you girl, dare you say I'm ugly? Why don't you go out and ask around in Shangjing, who doesn't admit that I, Cheng Qi, am a famous handsome guy. Women who chase me can go around Shangjing 3 times hand in hand. Cheng Xianxin looked at Cheng Yuheng with a smug look on his face. After a day, Cheng Xianxin has accepted Cheng Yuheng's current state. In fact, he thinks that Cheng Yuheng is pretty good now. At least, she has temporarily forgotten the pressure that made her breathless. Such an unrestrained and free life is much better than the cold face and hurriedness all day long before. In just this day, Cheng Yuheng smiled more than in the previous year. This made Cheng Xianxin feel very happy. However, when Cheng Yuheng saw Cheng Xianxin coming, he quickly hid behind Su Chen. The beautiful face looked at Cheng Xianxin through Su Chen's shoulder. The expression of fear and anger on her face was simply charming. Su Chen looked at Cheng Xianxin with a headache and gave him a look, indicating that he should think of a way. Outside the Cheng family villa, Su Chen was surrounded by powerful enemies. After leaving this gate, he couldn't even guarantee his own safety, let alone taking Cheng Yuheng with him. However, Cheng Xianxin waved his hand and said, don't look at me, I'm ugly, I can't control her. You are handsome, she wants to follow you, what can I do? Cheng Xianxin is quite vengeful. Hearing this, Su Chen smiled faintly. He said, okay, since you say so, then I will take her out. Anyway, she still has the strength of the god realm. If she is really in danger, she can also be considered a fighting force. Su Chen said, pulling Cheng Yuheng and leaving. Hey. Cheng Xianxin was immediately unhappy when he heard this. He hurriedly followed. Brother, this won't do. My niece is in this state now, how can she have any fighting power? Forget it. I'll go with you. Cheng Xianxin has learned from Cheng San that Su Chen has many enemies. He can't really let Cheng Yuheng fall into danger. Of course, Cheng Xianxin also knows that Su Chen is just saying that. If he really encounters danger, he will definitely protect Cheng Yuheng. If Su Chen's character is not good, then no matter how capable he is, Cheng Xianxin will never recognize him as his elder brother. Su Chen nodded. He thought about it and called Zhou Wanqiu first to see if she had any troubles in the past few days. After all, he missed her very much after not seeing her for many days. The call was connected, but no one answered. Su Chen's heart tightened. Is she in danger? Su Chen frowned and called Zhang Longhu again. After a few rings, Zhang Longhu answered the phone. Mr. Su, are you finally done with your work? Zhang Longhu was very surprised to receive Su Chen's call. Well, I'm done for now. Su Chen replied. Then, he hurriedly asked, where's President Zhao? I called her, but I couldn't get through. Is it the Liu family who is causing trouble for you again? Although there is a threat from Cheng Shai and Feng, Yu Bei should be more restrained. But it's easy to dodge an open spear, but it's hard to guard against an arrow from the dark. A villain like Yu Bei has a lot of conspiracies and tricks. Zhang Longhu replied, don't worry, Mr. Su, President Zhao is fine. Meng Deqiu and I have been protecting President Zhao. Now, we are in Kunying Entertainment City. Today is the bidding for the Kunying Entertainment City Food Center project, and President Zhao is bidding with others. Zhang Long, who knew that Su Chen was very concerned about Zhou Wanqiu, so he explained it directly to avoid Su Chen's misunderstanding. In fact, the Kunying Entertainment City project should have been bid for now according to the plan. But because of the previous battle between Yu Xinbei and Su Chen, Kunying Entertainment City was in a mess. It takes time to repair it again, which is why it has been delayed until now. After talking about Zhou Wanqiu, Zhang Longhu said, as for the Liu family, they haven't sent any warriors here recently. However, I heard that the Liu family sent someone from Shangjing again. Moreover, the one who came this time is still a big shot. I heard that he is the eldest son of the eldest house. This news was accidentally learned by Zhang Longhu's people from Bincheng, the son of Jin Donglei. However, after this kid came, he has been doing business activities, but he didn't do anything to Mr. Zhao. At this point, Zhang Longhu paused. He seemed to suddenly think of something and said, "Oh, Mr. Su, by the way, I also heard that after the eldest son of the Liu family came, he gave Liu Shaohang a lesson and stopped his spiritual medicine treatment." Zhang Longhu felt that this matter was a bit strange. After all, Liu Shaohang is a member of the Liu family. Although his cultivation is not high, he is only in the innate realm, but it is not low. Zhang Longhu couldn't figure out why Liu Shaohang was abandoned and the Liu family gave him up directly. Without the spiritual medicine, Liu Shaohang may not be able to recover his body, let alone his cultivation. He may not even be able to take care of himself in the future. Don't these Shangjing families care about faith the most? It is said that Liu Shaohang's father came here in person before. Why don't they take revenge now, but deal with Liu Shaohang instead? Su Chen frowned when he heard this. Is it because of the Cheng family? But last time, looking at the looks of Liu Yuanwu and Yu Xinbei, they were obviously unconvinced. How could they give up so easily? Su Chen thought for a moment and couldn't think of an answer. There must be something wrong. When things are abnormal, there may be something else hidden in it. Su Chen felt that this might be related to Cheng Shai and Feng's reminder. He was even more curious in his heart. What secrets did the Zhao family hide? It seems that he has to go back to the Zhao family when he has time and talk to Mr. Zhao. Let's put this matter aside for the time being. Chapter 718 Brave Yu Heng. Su Chen put away all the speculations in his mind and continued the call. Su Chen asked, "Master Zhang, has the bidding just started? When will it end?" Zhang Longhu replied, "It hasn't started yet, and everyone hasn't arrived yet. It will probably be in the afternoon." Zhou Wanqiu and her group had just arrived. I heard that this bidding was personally hosted by the provincial governor Fang Bingbang. Now, Fang Bingbang hasn't arrived yet. Okay, you guys wait a moment, I'll go over later. Su Chen said and hung up the phone. Su Chen couldn't help Zhou Wanqiu with her business affairs. Moreover, Su Chen knew that this bidding was just a formality. With Fang Bingbang there shouldn't be any accidents. Su Chen had to go to the Tiger Guard first to see if King Mui had returned. He wanted to take action against Jinglin Villa and needed King Mui's help. The best defense is offense. Instead of being passive and waiting for Jinglin Villa to make a move, he might as well take the initiative. Gao Pengfei said before that the people from the Qinhui Inspection Division are here. The matter of Chen Zifan will be resolved sooner or later. I also want to go and see what the attitude of the people from the inspection division is. Su Chen secretly calculated in his heart. Then, Su Chen took Cheng Yuheng and Cheng Xianxin directly to the Qinhui base. And Cheng Xianxin, naturally, became Su Chen's driver. This made Cheng Xianxin complain again. Su Chen was too lazy to pay attention to him. Soon, the car stopped at the Qinhui base. Su Chen turned around and said, "You two stay in the car and wait for me. I can go there by myself." It is really inconvenient to take Cheng Xianxin and Cheng Yuheng with him. Moreover, Su Chen did not want to involve the Cheng family again. Cheng Xianxin naturally had no objection, but Cheng Yuheng did not agree. "Chen, I will go too." Su Chen was helpless when he heard Cheng Yuheng's address to him. Even if he was so shameless, he couldn't help blushing. On the side, Cheng Xianxin curled his lips when he saw Cheng Yuheng was so attached to Su Chen and couldn't help but feel sour in his heart. When Su Chen gave Cheng Yuheng acupuncture to treat him, he obviously also made great efforts. Okay. The mental power he output to Su Chen was enough to fight a strong man in the god realm. Moreover, from the beginning to the end of the treatment, he has been guarding and never left. Why does my niece only remember Su Chen now, but not my 7th uncle? Cheng Xianxin felt bitter. Su Chen glanced at Cheng Xianxin, who was watching coldly, and reluctantly comforted Cheng Yuheng. Be good, I will be back soon. Do me a favor first, and take good care of your 7th uncle, and don't let him run around, okay? As long as you complete this difficult task, I will take you to eat delicious food in the evening. Su Chen coaxed Cheng Yuheng like coaxing a child. TSK. Can this work? Cheng Xianxin was very disdainful when he heard this. His eldest niece has amnesia and is traumatized, but she is not stupid. Su Chen didn't know Cheng Yuheng, but he knew what kind of person his niece was before. Even if there is something wrong with her brain now, it is impossible to change completely, and the habit must still be there. If this lousy trick works, I, Cheng Xianxin, will just eat a candy. Well, okay then. Before Cheng Xianxin finished thinking about it, Cheng Yuheng nodded stupidly. She pouted and said, then, Chen, you have to come back soon. I will only help you for a while. Cheng Xianxin. He was so depressed that he wanted to vomit blood. This broken trick actually works. I won't talk about it now. But now, what's the matter with Cheng Yuheng's disgusted expression? In the past, Cheng Yuheng liked his 7th uncle the most. But now, he feels uncomfortable just looking at him for a few more times. Cheng Xianxin was so angry that he hummed. Cheng Yuheng saw him like this, and his face became even more uneasy and fearful. But when she thought that this was a task assigned to her by Chen, she immediately plucked up the courage to take responsibility and glared back. Brave Yuheng, not afraid of difficulties. Cheng Xianxin looked depressed. Su Chen had no time to pay attention to the interaction between the uncle and nephew of the Cheng family. He got out of the car and walked directly into the Tiger Guard. According to the time, King Mei was away for a long time this time. Not to mention that she is the captain of the special operations team of the Tiger Guard of Dongzhou province. The operation planning area is limited to Dongzhou province. Even if King Mei went abroad to perform a mission, it is almost time for her to come back now. In addition, Su Chen also needs to find out what the attitude of the inspection department is. If they are enemies, then when dealing with Jinglin Villa, more preparations need to be made. Not long after Su Chen entered the base, he heard an urgent call. Mr. Su. Mr. Su, why are you here? He turned his head and saw Gao Pengfei, the leader of the Ra group, running towards him. Gao Pengfei ran over and stopped Su Chen. Mr. Su, why didn't you say hello to me before you came here? Gao Pengfei said as he pulled Su Chen out. What's wrong? Su Chen stopped and looked at Gao Pengfei in confusion. Mr. Su, don't ask so many questions. Quick, let's go out first. I'll tell you in detail. Gao Pengfei looked anxious. It seemed that if he walked a step slower, Su Chen would be in danger. He pulled Su Chen with great force, almost with all his strength. Su Chen was led to walk 2 steps and was about to ask. Suddenly, a shout came from behind. Stop. Gao Pengfei stiffened when he heard the voice. Su Chen even felt that Gao Pengfei's hands were trembling. He paused, and a look of struggle appeared in his eyes, but the entanglement was fleeting. Then, Gao Pengfei seemed not to hear the voice behind him, and dragged Su Chen to walk outside. Damn. I told you to stop, didn't you hear it? The voice behind was very impatient. Gao Pengfei, you fucking stop. As soon as the voice fell, then, a violent vitality attacked directly. Get out of the way. Su Chen subconsciously pushed Gao Pengfei away. Although Su Chen didn't know the specific situation, he could feel that this energy was not joking with them. If it fell on Gao Pengfei, he would be seriously injured if he didn't die. Su Chen turned around and punched the huge energy. Then, he saw a kid coming towards him with violent golden energy. Bang! Fists and feet hit each other. The huge collision force made the surrounding air vibrate. At this moment, the space even distorted briefly. Gao Pengfei, who was the closest, even flew backwards under the impact of this invisible force. Thump thump thump. Gao Pengfei was just shocked by the aftermath and took more than 10 steps back. He looked at the scene in front of him with a look of astonishment. Is this the power of a strong man in the god realm? No. Is this Mr. Su's true power? In fact, Gao Pengfei has always overestimated Su Chen's fighting ability. However, when this scene happened in front of him, he was still shocked. Su Chen's previous battles were also very powerful. However, those were all battles below the divine realm. Now, he finally saw with his own eyes the powerful combat power of Su Chen in the divine realm battle. Chapter 719. Practice. Gao Pengfei had heard that Su Chen killed Chen Zifeng, who was in the god realm, with the power of the Xiantian realm. But he didn't see it on the spot, so he always had doubts about it. Even Gao Pengfei was still wondering in his heart whether Yuzhen Bei deliberately borrowed a knife to kill someone and then framed Su Chen. Now, Gao Pengfei finally confirmed that Su Chen did have the strength to kill Chen Zifeng. For a moment, Gao Pengfei was a little entangled. If this is true, I'm afraid that, even if Captain Qin comes back, it will be difficult to save Mr. Su. On the battlefield, Su Chen is still fighting with the newcomer. His fists and the opponent's feet are wrapped in powerful vitality, and they are in a stalemate. Both sides continue to pour in vitality to suppress the opponent. Get out of here! Su Chen shouted. He burst out with power, and suddenly fought back, and punched hard again. Bang! The shoes of the newcomer were shattered into pieces, and even half of his trouser legs were gone. The whole person flipped 3 times in the air, before stabilizing his body and landing safely. Su Chen looked at the newcomer. This person was a middle-aged man with a square face. He narrowed his triangular eyes, looking down at his embarrassed right leg. You are the murderer who killed Chen Zifeng, deputy chief of the Tiger Guard of Dongzhou province, Su Chen? He looked disdainful and snorted coldly. You are indeed quite powerful. No wonder you dare to provoke the Tiger Guard. Through the other party's words, Su Chen roughly guessed the identity of this person. This guy should be from the inspection division of the Tiger Guard. Gao Pengfei whispered to Su Chen, Mr. Su, this is Mr. Zhu Guodong, the inspector sent by the Shangjing Tiger Guard. Then, he stepped forward to explain, Inspector Zhu, there must be something else behind the death of Deputy Guard Chief Chen. Mr. Su is the consultant of our Tiger Guard. How could he provoke the Tiger Guard for no reason? Moreover, Mr. Su has solved many problems for the Tiger Guard before, and even personally captured and killed many villains on the wanted list for us many times. Gao Pengfei dared not treat the people of the Tiger Guard Inspection Division with the attitude he treated Yuzhen Bei. He could not directly stand on Su Chen's side, so he could only try his best to help Su Chen explain. However, after hearing Gao Pengfei's words, Zhu Guodong scolded him coldly. Shut up. Did I ask you? Gao Pengfei's expression froze, and his face flushed. Even if the other party was an inspector sent by Shangjing, it was still a bit embarrassing to scold him in public. However, Zhu Guodong didn't care at all. He looked arrogant and said sarcastically, Team Leader Gao, the more I called you, the more you ran. It seems that Su Chen's importance in your heart has surpassed that of the Tiger Guards. A team leader is actually in the same blood with the wanted criminal. The Tiger Guards of Dongzhou province really have no rules at all. Zhu Guodong looked at Gao Pengfei with a vicious look. If he hadn't received the news and chased him out, wouldn't Su Chen have been released again? How long would he, a patrol inspector of the inspection bureau, delay here because of Su Chen? Drops of cold sweat immediately flowed down Gao Pengfei's forehead. He felt a huge pressure pressing towards him. This is the momentum released by Zhu Guodong. The unique momentum of a strong man in the god realm. Gao Pengfei was like a shackle of 10,000 pounds on his back. His face was flushed due to the oppression, and he seemed to be about to lie down at any time. At this moment. Haha. Rules. Su Chen sneered and suddenly spoke. If we follow the rules of the Tiger Guard, shouldn't I have killed you directly, since you attacked from behind, and killed your colleagues just now? Su Chen was very grateful that Gao Pengfei could tip him off, and even take the risk, to resist the pressure from the inspection office for him. Su Chen was alone, and was not afraid of the inspection office at all. He could even leave the Tiger Guard at any time. Therefore, no matter how powerful the inspection office was, they could not threaten him. But Gao Pengfei was different. He still wanted to stay in the Tiger Guard. If he really offended the inspection office, they would have plenty of opportunities to deal with him in the future. Therefore, Su Chen wanted to pull the hatred to himself and get rid of Gao Pengfei. Sure enough, as soon as Su Chen said this, he directly pulled Zhu Guodong's hatred over. Zhu Guodong turned his head and looked at Su Chen. He raised his eyebrows and said gloomily, "What did you say?" Su Chen looked calm. "How come you are not old, but your ears are not working well? Didn't you just talk about the rules? I'm also talking about the rules to you. According to the rules of the Tiger Guard, I can kill you at any time now." Zhu Guodong's eyes widened, looking unbelievable. He even scratched his ears exaggeratedly. "Did I hear it right? You still want to kill me?" Zhu Guodong said, laughing. "Ha ha ha ha. This is the funniest joke I have heard this year." Laughing, Zhu Guodong's face suddenly changed. He looked at Su Chen coldly. "I'm curious, you are just an innate realm. What can you use to kill me? Do you think I'm a god realm like Chen Zifeng who has been forced to come up?" Zhu Guodong heard Yu Xinbei talk about Su Chen's strength, but he didn't believe it at all. The vitality has not broken through the god realm, and the mental power is only the yin-yang period. It's just that the physical body has broken through to the heavenly realm. What is this? At most, it is a weak chicken that can resist beating. Fighting a mid-stage vitality god realm to a draw is pure nonsense. If Su Chen relied on his Vajrarahat realm body to destroy Chen Zifeng, who had just entered the god realm with his pills, he could still barely believe it. But if Su Chen almost destroyed an opponent in both the spirit and vitality god realms, how could Zhu Guodong believe it? Not to mention the Midangshao province, even in Shangjing, he had never encountered such a genius master. Therefore, Zhu Guodong felt that Yu Xinbei must have boasted about Su Chen's strength in order to cover up his incompetence. And now, he wanted to take Su Chen down and then mock Yu Xinbei. "I want to see if your strength is as strong as your tone." After Zhu Guodong finished speaking, he circulated his vitality and attacked Su Chen's face. Su Chen did not avoid or retreat. Invincible golden body. In an instant, the surface of Su Chen's skin was instantly covered with golden light, like a golden man. After the brief fight just now, Su Chen had some understanding of Zhu Guodong's strength. This person's strength is better than Yu Xinbei. However, it is not too powerful. Zhu Guodong's vitality realm should also be the middle stage of the divine realm, and he can handle it completely. Moreover, Su Chen's mental power has made a breakthrough, but he has never had the opportunity to use it. Transforming mental power into spiritual god is not just a matter of piling up resources. If the foundation is not laid well, even if it is transformed into a spiritual god in the future, it may not be applied freely, and there may be a risk of collapse when encountering danger. Now, Su Chen has enough Yang Yuan Dan given by Cheng Shai and Feng, and he can break through at any time. But the actual combat power still needs to be adjusted. It just so happens that this Zhu Guodong is just right for him to practice. If Zhu Guodong knew what Su Chen was thinking, he would definitely be pissed off. But at this time, Su Chen had already bullied himself. He has already formulated a combat strategy. Use the undefeated golden body to resist the attack, and use mental power as the focus of the attack. The third update is here. Today's update is over. Thank you all for your subscription, monthly tickets and rewards. I wish you all good health and happiness in the year of the rabbit. Thank you. Chapter 720 Yang Shen Spell. Spear of the Spirit. A spear condensed by spiritual power condensed from the Niwen Palace between Su Chen's eyebrows. Whoosh. The spear was as fast as lightning. It pierced towards Zhu Guodong's forehead. Spiritual attack. Zhu Guodong smiled coldly. He had heard before that Su Chen's spiritual power was at the yin-yang stage, so he had been prepared. Break. Zhu Guodong shouted. There was a red rope around his neck, which suddenly emitted a scarlet light, completely isolating his head. Snap. The spear condensed by Su Chen's spiritual power pierced the red light, but it was like ice and snow encountering fire, and quickly turned into white smoke and melted. Zhu Guodong said with a proud face, "Haha. Boy, your spiritual attack is useless to me. If I had known that you could attack with spiritual power, I would naturally have prepared magic weapons to deal with it. Now, what else can you do?" If this is all you can do, then you'd better be prepared to die, Zhu Guodong said, and stepped on the ground. Boom. There was a loud noise. Zhu Guodong's figure flashed, and he rushed towards Su Chen again. His vitality was not ordinary vitality, but a kind of golden vitality. It was filled with a cold smell of killing, which constantly stimulated Zhu Guodong. Under this stimulation, Zhu Guodong's eyes turned red, and his fighting power continued to increase. Su Chen realized that there was something wrong with this Zhu Guodong. Continuing to resist would be a bit disadvantageous. Golden vitality? Fire overcomes gold. Su Chen had an idea. Flame vitality. 9 extremes. Su Chen used all his strength to operate the flame vitality, and then amplified it through the 9 extremes. The next moment, a layer of light black flame immediately attached to his light golden arm. After absorbing and practicing in the Cheng family villa these days, and with the amplification of the 9 extremes, Su Chen's flame vitality was raised to light black. In a flash, the light black flame rolled on Su Chen's arm. I have many skills, Su Chen shouted. Then, he raised his fist and collided with Zhu Guodong. The faint black flames felt a bit cold and chilly when they first touched him. But soon, Zhu Guodong felt the stinging pain of burning, and even his metal energy seemed to be defeated. Zhu Guodong noticed that Su Chen's energy seemed to restrain himself. He didn't dare to fight Su Chen again, and wanted to withdraw. Too late. At this time, how could Su Chen let him withdraw? As soon as he retreated, Su Chen immediately rushed forward. The flame energy was like a maggot on the tarsal bone, and was constantly impacted by Su Chen on Zhu Guodong. At the same time, Su Chen did not give up the mental attack. Although he didn't know what Zhu Guodong's red rope was, it could actually dissolve mental power. But mental attacks are also ever changing. Su Chen didn't believe that the opponent's red rope magic weapon didn't have a loophole. Giving up the yin god, Su Chen used the power of the yang god, turned into a long sword of mental power, and chopped it towards Zhu Guodong's head. At the same time, the long sword condensed by mental power was also attached with the yang god spell that Su Chen had just realized. Human will is also a kind of power. The power of saying what comes true is what is said. The ability of ordinary people may not be so strong, but some of the words and promises he said will also be mixed with his own spiritual will, and this will make his words come true. The spell of Yang Shen is similar. The spell of Yang Shen is to regard one's own Yang Shen as a god. The power of Yang Shen is far beyond the will of ordinary people, so it will definitely work. Moreover, the spell of Yang Shen is generally aimed at the body, not the mental power. Su Chen really wants to see whether Zhu Guodong's red rope magic weapon is immune to all mental attacks, or only immune to mental attacks on the Niwen Palace. Zhu Guodong saw Su Chen continue to use mental attacks on him, and he sneered. You are really a fool. I told you that mental power is useless to me, and you still dare to attack. Zhu Guodong snorted. Then, he ignored it, and continued to punch Su Chen. However, plop. Zhu Guodong staggered, and almost fell to the ground. His eyes were full of astonishment. Zhu Guodong looked at Su Chen in disbelief. What's going on? Zhu Guodong couldn't figure it out. Just now, he had clearly received Su Chen's moves, so how could he be shaken and lose his balance? Su Chen smiled. It seems that Zhu Guodong's magic weapon, that is immune to mental power. It is only for mental power attacking the Niwen Palace, and cannot completely defend against the attacks of spells on the body. In other words, this red rope is only for the yin god, and has little effect on the yang god. It should be that Zhu Guodong knew that Su Chen's yin god was condensed, while the yang god was weak. Therefore, he only prepared a magic weapon to defend against the yin god. Little did he know that Su Chen's yang god was already able to fight at this time. Is this a yang god spell? How is it possible? Zhu Guodong didn't expect that the information that was still very certain 2 days ago was now outdated. 9 extreme strength. Su Chen was too lazy to pay attention. He just shouted. Then, the 9-fold amplification was fully activated, and the vitality gushed out. As a result, his physical strength in the Vajrahat realm was also exerted to the extreme. Swoosh. Su Chen's figure flashed. Then, he attacked Zhu Guodong's face, who was stunned. The violent energy brought terrifying power. Before the attack got close, Zhu Guodong felt a strong push. Bang. Zhu Guodong stretched out his hand and slapped the ground, and his body flew into the air. In an instant, a layer of dark yellow metallic luster was also covered on his arm. Zhu Guodong circulated his whole body's energy and collided with Su Chen's fist. Bang! A loud bang. The two fists collided. The surrounding space was actually folded. There were tiny cracks in the space around Su Chen and Zhu Guodong's fists. However, these cracks were fleeting. In addition to the traces of air distortion caused by the collision of this force, no one except Su Chen noticed these tiny cracks. It turned out that when the power was exerted to the extreme, it was really possible to break the space. If the space crack just now was a little bigger and lasted a little longer, would it swallow them up? No time to think about it. Su Chen and Zhu Guodong flew backwards in an instant. Zhu Guodong's feet were like a rake plowing the ground, digging a calf-deep trench on the ground. He slid backwards for more than 10 meters before slowly stopping. And Su Chen was not much better. He flew backwards in the air out of control. After several consecutive body movements, he barely landed safely. At this time, the two of them were dozens of meters apart. The two stood still, and their eyes met again. In each other's eyes, it was like an ancient battlefield, with the momentum of fighting. Zhu Guodong looked at Su Chen, and on the surface, he seemed very calm. However, the solemnity in his eyes proved that his mind was far from being as calm as it seemed on the surface. In fact, Zhu Guodong's heart was already in turmoil and thunder. Su Chen's fighting power had shocked him. Chapter 721, Heaven and Earth Lose Their Power. Zhu Guodong stood there, staring at Su Chen. Countless thoughts flashed through his mind. This little bastard's vitality is so strong. Is he really only in the Xianshan realm? I'm a perfect middle stage god realm, and I'm only one step away from breaking through to the late stage of the god realm. Moreover, my vitality has the bonus of gold attribute. Even masters of the same level can't take advantage of me. But now, I'm fighting against a kid in the Yuanqi Xianshan realm, and I'm still at a disadvantage? Zhu Guodong asked frantically in his heart. At this time, he remembered Yuzin Bei's words. Don't underestimate this kid Su Chen. At this moment, he finally believed it. On the opposite side, Su Chen stood with his hands behind his back. His eyes were full of fighting spirit, staring at Zhu Guodong closely. This Zhu Guodong's strength is indeed very strong. In fact, he is more than a little stronger than Yuzin Bei. Su Chen's arm was numb, his bones and muscles were tingling, and he couldn't help shaking. He kept circulating the longevity vitality to his arm, and then it got better. The attack just now. Zhu Guodong felt that he and Su Chen were evenly matched. But Su Chen knew that he and Zhu Guodong were 40:60. He was 40:60, while Zhu Guodong was 60:60. Zhu Guodong was superior to him because his fighting power was amplified by the 9 extreme power, and it could not be maintained for too long. Therefore, once the battle continued, Zhu Guodong would definitely win. It seemed that it would be difficult to escape today. Su Chen's eyes narrowed. At this time, because the fight between Su Chen and Zhu Guodong was too loud, almost half of the members of the Tiger Guard came over. Su Chen glanced at the people around him. Zhu Guodong, on the other hand, pretended to be relaxed and shook his embarrassed arms. Zhu Guodong smiled and said, "No wonder you don't take the Tiger Guard seriously. You kill the deputy chief of the Tiger Guard and you kill me, the inspector of the Tiger Guard Inspection Division, just as you say. So, your confidence lies here." Su Chen did not comment. Zhu Guodong suddenly shouted, "Su Chen, do you really think that you can look down on the world with your talent? The world is not short of geniuses. Geniuses are also the easiest to die." Zhu Guodong was very entangled with Su Chen. He was jealous of Su Chen's talent and wanted to kill him. But at the same time, he felt that Su Chen's talent was amazing. If he could use it for himself, it would definitely be a great help. But on second thought, he felt that a genius like Su Chen was really hard to handle. If he recommended him to the person behind him, he might be replaced by him. Su Chen smiled coldly and said disdainfully, "I think that the world is not short of arrogant people like you. The world is most likely to die, and arrogant people like you." Su Chen believed that he had no grudge against Zhu Guodong. But this person started with a heavy hand and targeted him everywhere. Naturally, Su Chen would not tolerate him. He is a simple man. If others don't provoke him, he is too lazy to make enemies with others. But if someone wants to attack him, Su Chen will never be soft-hearted because of the other party's identity and power. Hearing this, Zhu Guodong laughed in anger. Ha ha ha. How dare you, a mere ancient realm, talk to me, a mid-stage divine realm, like this? Who do you think is the arrogant one between the two of us? Zhu Guodong said, glancing at the people around him. Among the tiger guards, there are obviously a few with different uniforms. They exchanged glances with each other, and under the cover of the crowd, they quietly swam around Su Chen, with a faint tendency to surround Su Chen. With Su Chen's mental strength, this little move could not be hidden from him. Zhu Guodong saw Su Chen surrounded, and then he smiled contemptuously. Su Chen, I admit that you are very talented. It is a pity that such a genius died. How about this? I can give you a chance. As long as you surrender and come back to the Shangjing headquarters with me, I can help you explain to the Shangjing inspection office. At least I can save your life. The death of a deputy chief of the Tiger Guard of Dongzhou province is not a small matter, but it is not a big matter. In the Tiger Guard, many people die every year. But how this person died, and why he died, is not a matter of their words. However, Su Chen said coldly, why explain? I killed Chen Zifeng. He deserves to die. He deserves to be killed. Even if it happens again, I will still do it. I, Su Chen, have always done things openly and honestly, and I have a clear conscience. At this point, Su Chen looked at Zhu Guodong again, as if he was looking at a jumping clown. Then, Su Chen asked word by word, killing the person who deserves to die. Why should I ask you to explain hypocritically? Hearing Su Chen's arrogant and overbearing words, Zhu Guodong was stunned for a moment, and did not react for a while. Okay. Zhu Guodong gritted his teeth and said, Su Chen, if you don't cover up my face, don't blame me for not cherishing my talent. As soon as the voice fell, Zhu Guodong made another move. As a dignified middle-stage god realm, his means were naturally not weak. The previous small loss was mainly due to the intelligence error, and he didn't know that Su Chen's Yangshen had been so condensed. Tiger roaring in the forest. Zhu Guodong shouted. The next second, boom. His whole body of vitality exploded, and finally condensed into the shape of a tiger, and then rushed towards Su Chen. Roar. The roar of the king of beasts was shocking, and the terrifying momentum was overwhelming. The people around him couldn't help but feel fear. These people were all strong among the tiger catching guards. But at this moment, just being affected by this momentum, he felt that his mind was lost. On the opposite side, Su Chen showed a state of alert. Even though he had good combat power, this kind of suppression in the realm of vitality still made him feel extremely heavy. Su Chen stared at Zhu Guodong firmly. This man is worthy of being the patrol inspector from Shangjing. At this moment, the full outbreak is really not simple. Die. Zhu Guodong shouted. The next moment, the tiger condensed by Zhu Guodong's majestic vitality, carrying violent vitality, was like a surging wave in the sea, suppressing Su Chen with infinite momentum. At this moment, Su Chen actually felt that it was difficult to resist. This is not because Su Chen's combat power is not strong enough, but the masters from Shangjing have a higher ceiling than the strong men of the same level in Dongzhou province. Not to mention, Zhu Guodong, a top strong man in a high position. How could there be a fake? Although Su Chen's face was calm, he did not dare to be careless in his heart. He had cold eyes, and shouted in a low voice. Divine Wolfist. Su Chen concentrated his mind, and visualized Jiaodao Mountain in his heart. The surging mental power rushed out from the Niwen Palace. The vitality in his body also trembled wildly under the amplification of the 9 extremes, and condensed together with the mental power. The mental power and the vitality mixed and condensed into the supreme fist intention. Finally, through Su Chen's physical body in the Vajrahat realm, a punch was thrown. The heavy and majestic fist intention instantly turned into a towering mountain. It was the Yaodao Mountain in Su Chen's hometown village. Boom. In an instant, the world lost its majesty, and the mountains and rivers changed color. If you're listening to this novel on a channel other than Fanfic World, it means they downloaded and uploaded it without effort. We cordially invite you to visit our channel, Mundo Fanfic Novelos. There you'll find the original version of this story, and you can explore many other novels of various genres. We're waiting for you to immerse yourself in a world of incredible novels. Chapter 722, Riding a Tiger. Su Chen attacked with a punch. In Zhu Guodong's eyes, this punch was rapidly magnified. In an instant, it has already towered between heaven and earth. The next second, like a mountain collapsing and the sky tilting, it smashed towards Zhu Guodong fiercely. The Wanqiu giant tiger, which was full of momentum before, completely lost its shocking pressure in front of Yaodao Mountain. Zhu Guodong gritted his teeth and urged the Wanqiu giant tiger, "Break it for me." The next moment, the Wanqiu giant tiger rushed forward with the momentum of a huge wave. Then, it collided fiercely with Yaodao Mountain. Rumble. The waves surged and hit the shore. The mountain stood tall and immovable. Zhu Guodong's surging momentum like waves was suddenly blocked by the mountains. Crunch. The huge Wanqiu tiger collapsed in an instant, and the Wanqiu scattered. However, Su Chen's Shinaikan has not collapsed yet, but continued to crush Zhu Guodong. Zhu Guodong's face changed drastically. He punched repeatedly, and surging vitality attacked one after another. He retreated while punching. After more than 10 punches in a row, he barely broke Su Chen's Shinai fist. Seeing that the Shinai fist was broken, Su Chen looked regretful. He retracted his fist and calmed his breath. What a pity. His vitality and mental strength have not broken through to the divine realm, and the gap between his realm and Zhu Guodong's is too large. Therefore, the Shinai fist was directly broken by Zhu Guodong with brute force. Otherwise, Zhu Guodong would never have easily resisted the punch just now without paying a price. At this time, Zhu Guodong on the opposite side retreated several steps, and finally stood firm. He frowned and was secretly shocked. How is it possible? What kind of boxing is this? As an inspector of the Shangjing Inspection Office, Zhu Guodong has encountered countless opponents. But this is the first time he has encountered such a weirdo like Su Chen. It is obviously just a mere Wanqiu Grandmaster, who has not even entered the divine realm. As a result, he can resist his tiger roaring in the mountains. Tiger roaring in the forest. Although the name of this move is very vulgar, its combat power is quite good. Moreover, this move has touched the edge of the fist, and it has a kind of imposing pressure. In addition, Zhu Guodong has been in a high position for a long time. When he used this move of tiger roaring in the forest, he had a kingly demeanor. Ordinary opponents of the same level would be affected by the imposing pressure of this move of tiger roaring in the forest, and could not exert 70% of their original strength. But today, Zhu Guodong used this move, but it did not affect Su Chen. In the end, it was he who was confused by this young boy. The surrounding tiger guards and Gao Pengfei were also a little dumbfounded. This scene seemed a little wrong. Just now, wasn't Zhu Zunjian using a trick? Why didn't it work at all, but was beaten back by Su Chen? Listening to the whispers around him, Zhu Guodong's face was hot. He gritted his teeth and was annoyed. "Boy, you are looking for death yourself." Zhu Guodong's face was as gloomy as water, and his face became more and more ugly. If he doesn't kill Su Chen today, and the news spreads, he will lose face completely. Die. Zhu Guodong stepped on the ground. Boom. The ground sank into a big pit. But Zhu Guodong's figure had already rushed to Su Chen. Boom. 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 Punch after punch. Zhu Guodong attacked Su Chen fiercely without leaving any room for him. Su Chen's eyes were firm, and he went forward. Bang. 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 The two of them collided with each other, and their vitality blasted against each other. The surrounding space was like ripples on the water, shaking out ripples. But anyone could see that it contained a terrifying destructive force. Boom. The two of them fought fiercely, and the surrounding tiles, trees, walls, buildings, were destroyed one after another, and the ground was in a mess. The people who were watching the tiger capture guards were already scared, and at a loss. One by one, they retreated and hid in the corner. The battle between the two people in the field was too terrifying. If you get too close, you might be seriously injured by the aftermath, or even die on the spot. Gao Pengfei dodged carefully, shocked and anxious. He knew that Zhu Guodong was a master in the middle stage of the divine realm. But now, Su Chen can fight him evenly, without losing the upper hand. It's simply against the sky. However, Gao Pengfei still hopes that this battle will end quickly. Gao Pengfei doesn't want to see any of the two people in the field get into trouble. Su Chen is needless to say, as an advisor to the Tiger Guards and Qin Qingmu's savior. If he is injured, it will be a huge loss for the Tiger Guards of Dongzhou province. As for Zhu Guodong, he is from the Shangjing Inspection Division. If he gets into trouble, Su Chen will definitely be in a lot of trouble. Now, Su Chen is already in a lot of trouble. If the Tiger Guard Inspection Division is added, Gao Pengfei can't imagine the consequences. However, he is only in the innate realm. With his strength, he is not qualified to intervene in the battle between the strong men in the divine realm. Bang, bang, bang. On the battlefield, the two were still fighting fiercely. As the battle continued, Zhu Guodong became more and more frightened. In the previous fight, he saw that Su Chen was extraordinary, but he still had full confidence to take Su Chen down. But at this moment, he had already found that it would be difficult to take Su Chen down without paying a price. Zhu Guodong was in a dilemma. Now, it was impossible to take Su Chen down easily. But if he was asked to give up now, Zhu Guodong would find it even more difficult to accept. The majesty of the inspection office cannot be violated. Fighting to this point, it is unlikely to give up. He can only be patient and hope to find an opportunity to severely injure Su Chen and then take him down. Compared with Zhu Guodong, Su Chen was not at ease. Although he was gifted and had extraordinary combat power, he could even cross levels and fight back. But if the realm difference was too big, how could it be easily wiped out? He could hold on until now, all thanks to the defense of the divine realm body and the invincible golden body, as well as the vitality increase of the 9 extremes. Even, he needed to use the yin god and yang god to assist, and at critical moments, he had to use the vertical golden light to avoid some fierce attacks. Moreover, in Su Chen's body, there is still longevity energy surging to repair the internal injuries. It can be said that it is only with so many means that Su Chen and Zhu Guodong can barely draw. You know, such a battle is very horrible for Su Chen. But Su Chen can only grit his teeth and persist, looking for opportunities. Both sides tacitly withdrew their strength and looked for opportunities. The mutual attack between the two was not as fierce as before. At this time, Gao Pengfei also saw some clues. He found an opportunity and took advantage of the gap between the two sides to stand up and stop them. You two, if you continue to fight, you will only lose both, so why not stop? Zhu Guodong's face sank when he heard this. He scolded, bullshit. I can take this kid down soon. Although Zhu Guodong knew that he could not move Su Chen in a short time, but he was unwilling to admit it. Gao Pengfei said, Inspector Zhu, I assure you that Consultant Su is definitely not a person who breaks the law and is evil. There must be a misunderstanding about Deputy Chief of Health Chen. You have to be careful. There may be bad people who want you and Consultant Su to lose both. I hope you can see clearly. Zhu Guodong stopped. The third update is here. The update is over. Good night everyone. Thank you for your subscription, monthly tickets and rewards. Everyone, go to bed early. Chapter 723 Can't Keep Me. Zhu Guodong stopped and looked at Gao Pengfei. Gao Pengfei's face lit up. He thought Zhu Guodong was finally willing to stop. However, humph. Zhu Guodong snorted coldly. Although Zhu Guodong also had the idea of stopping in his heart, but the face he just lost made it difficult for him to stop. A dignified middle-stage god realm, he couldn't even take down his ancestral realm. If you tell others about it, people will laugh their heads off. Zhu Guodong gritted his teeth and said in a deep voice, let me see clearly. See clearly. Isn't the fact obvious? This kid is arrogant, relying on his strength to do evil. Presumably, Deputy Guard Chief Chen Zifeng was killed by him under such circumstances. Su Chen's eyes turned cold. It seems that Zhu Guodong is not done with him. Su Chen said coldly, humph. I, Su Chen, dare to act and take responsibility, and I always kill those who deserve to be killed. What is the situation between me and Chen Zifeng? If you want to investigate, you will find out soon. It is obviously your selfishness that is at work. You want to abuse your power for personal gain and force a confession. Zhu Guodong was scolded in the face, and his heart was boiling with anger. You are sharp-tongued and dare to quibble. Zhu Guodong shouted angrily, I think you should surrender and go back to the inspection office with me. Then let's see if you have the ability. Su Chen responded tit for tat and did not give in. For a while, the smell of gunpowder filled the air again. Seeing that the two did not reach an agreement, Gao Pengfei looked anxious. Don't be angry, both of you. Gao Pengfei did not care about his own safety and hurriedly stood between the two. He turned around and begged Zhu Guodong, Inspector Zhu, I assure you that Consultant Su is not a person who kills people indiscriminately. You come to guarantee it? Zhu Guodong said with disdain. Are you worthy of it? Gao Pengfei's face flushed red. Zhu Guodong sneered. In his opinion, Gao Pengfei and Su Chen are birds of a feather. Before, Gao Pengfei wanted to tip off Su Chen. If he hadn't arrived in time, Su Chen might have escaped. What's more, his goal was to get rid of Su Chen. But he didn't expect that Su Chen's strength was beyond his expectation. Zhu Guodong turned his head and glanced at the people around him. Some of his men nodded to him secretly. Zhu Guodong breathed a sigh of relief. He narrowed his eyes and stared at Su Chen, feeling very proud. Boy, stop for now, it's just my expedient measure. My men have secretly notified the helpers to come. Now, I must fight you to the death. As long as you delay for a while, you can't escape. As the saying goes, the son of a rich man cannot sit in the hall. Zhu Guodong is extraordinary and holds a high position. How could he fight to the death with Su Chen? Su Chen, he must kill, but he doesn't have to do it alone. Few people know. On the surface, Zhu Guodong is an inspector of the inspection division of the Tiger Guard. In fact, he comes from the Gu family, one of the four nobles in Shangjing. This time he came to the provincial capital of Dongzhou to support the Liu family. Now, the helpers of the Liu family are coming. Gao Pengfei was embarrassed when Zhu Guodong hit him in the face. However, he still insisted, Inspector Zhu, Consultant Su is definitely not a person who bullies the weak and does evil. Before, many of the criminals on the wanted list of the Tiger Guard were captured and killed by Consultant Su. These things are all recorded in Consultant Su's merit book. Gao Pengfei once again brought up Su Chen's achievements, hoping to impress Zhu Guodong. Zhu Guodong sneered, merit is merit. Crime is crime. Having achievements only means that he has done some good things. However, merits and demerits cannot offset each other. He still can't escape the guilt of killing Deputy Guard Chief Chen. If Su Chen really wants to prove his innocence, he should surrender. I will handle it impartially and clear his name. Zhu Guodong was still deliberately stalling for time. Su Chen stared at Zhu Guodong and saw some clues. You are stalling for time. Zhu Guodong was shocked, and a look of surprise appeared on his face, but he hid it immediately. Su Chen's keen observation shocked him. Zhu Guodong denied it flatly. I don't know what you are talking about. Su Chen sneered in his heart. He was sure that Zhu Guodong would definitely come with help. In that case, I won't accompany you anymore. Su Chen sneered and turned to leave. He was not a fool. Zhu Guodong in front of him had clearly prepared a trap, so why should he step into it? The current Dongzhou province Qinhu Guard, the guard chief is not there. Qin King Mei is not there either. It can be said that Zhu Guodong has the final say. If he cooperates with the other party, he will definitely be splashed with dirty water. Even if he really wants to solve the matter of killing Chen Zifeng, he has to wait until the guard chief or Qin King Mei is present. Su Chen turned and left. Zhu Guodong's face was very anxious. Yu Zhenbei was about to arrive. How could he let Su Chen leave now? Asshole! Where are you going? With a loud shout, Zhu Guodong rushed up again, and the violent vitality crushed towards Su Chen. Su Chen snorted coldly, I want to leave. You can't stop me. As he said that, he turned around and punched. Boom. The Zhu and Lei Yuan Qi became more violent, after being amplified by the 9 extremes. In an instant, Su Chen was like the thunder god descending to the world. The thunder of heaven was merciless. With one punch, Zhu Guodong's Yuan Qi collapsed inch by inch. Squeak. Zhu Guodong plowed a deep pit on the ground. Su Chen looked at him coldly, and his figure flashed, and was about to leave. At this moment, a voice came. Zhu Zongjian, I'm here to help you. The next second, a familiar figure blocked Su Chen. This person had a sneer on his face. It was Yu Zhenbei, the inspector of the Dragon Slaying Guard. Yu Zhenbei. Su Chen's pupils shrank slightly, and his eyes were solemn. Zhu Guodong and Yuzin Bei. If Su Chen were to fight this combination head on, he really had no chance of winning. Su Chen, you will die today. Even the gods can't save you. Yuzin Bei sneered. There was no room for maneuver between him and Su Chen, and he was naturally full of murderous intent at this time. Do it. Yuzin Bei shouted coldly. Then, the two attacked Su Chen at the same time. One in front, one behind. Su Chen was attacked from both sides. A golden light flashed, and the undefeated golden body had covered Su Chen's whole body. At this moment, he had to fully open his defense. Su Chen mobilized all his energy, and the 9 extremes power was running wildly, and he punched each of the two men. Bang, bang. Zhu Guodong and Yuzin Bei were shocked back. And Su Chen also took a few steps back, and his blood and ki surged all over his body. Even his breath began to become a little disordered. Su Chen mobilized the longevity energy in his body, and recovered his body frantically. Boy, you are a genius, to be able to withstand the joint attack of the two of us. But, you are a genius who is about to die. Ha ha ha. Zhu Guodong laughed continuously. As he spoke, the two were about to fight again. Su Chen sneered. Do you think that you two old wastes can keep me? As soon as the voice fell, a golden light flashed under Su Chen's feet, and his figure flashed away directly. Yuzin Bei's face changed drastically. Hurry up and stop him. However, the two of them attacked together, but they couldn't even catch Su Chen's shadow. In the blink of an eye, Su Chen's figure had flashed out of the encirclement of the two. Yuzin Bei and Zhu Guodong looked ugly. Chapter 724, A Delicate Balance. No need to see you off, both of you. Su Chen turned around and sneered at the two of them. Then, he was about to leave. Yuzin Bei's face was livid. He was furious and shouted, Su Chen, if you dare to leave, I will kill Gao Pengfei. Since they have already torn their faces apart, there is no need to pretend. As soon as the voice fell, Yuzin Bei actually rushed out directly and attacked Gao Pengfei brazenly. The violent vitality was overwhelming. The posture was surprisingly to blast Gao Pengfei, who was in the Xianshan realm, into slag. It's over. Gao Pengfei's heart was full of desolation. He once thought that he might sacrifice himself in the mission of the Tiger Guard in the future. How could he have thought that he would die in the Tiger Guard base in the end? Moreover, he was beaten to death by his own people. Gao Pengfei's eyes showed reluctance. At this critical moment, whoosh, a golden light flashed. It was Su Chen. He once again used the golden light of the earth and dodged in front of Gao Pengfei. Mr. Su. Gao Pengfei showed gratitude. Su Chen ignored him, but raised his hand and punched, meeting Yuzin Bei's ready attack. Boom. The two fists collided fiercely. The surrounding ground collapsed several inches in an instant, and dust flew everywhere. Deng deng deng. Yuzin Bei's face was pale, and he took several steps back. Su Chen also took 2 steps back. His breath was disordered. The continuous battles consumed him a lot, and his internal organs were also injured. However, Su Chen still stared at Yuzin Bei and Zhu Guodong with a firm look. You are really shameless. Su Chen's eyes were full of contempt. The two people in front of him, one was the inspector of the Dragon Slaying Guard, and the other was the inspector of the Tiger Capturing Guard Inspection Division, actually used such means. Zhu Guodong and Yuzin Bei were embarrassed, but they were not soft at all. This is a way to deal with a bastard like you. Gao Pengfei looked at Su Chen's back, feeling ashamed and guilty. He didn't expect that he would become the one who held Su Chen back. He didn't expect that Su Chen would run back to the encirclement of Zhu Guodong and the others to save him. Yuzin Bei had a cruel smile on his face. Boy, unless you don't care about Gao Pengfei's life. Otherwise, even the gods can't save you this time. As soon as the voice fell, Yuzin Bei rushed forward again. At this moment, an angry voice sounded in the air. Really? The next second, a tall and thin figure suddenly appeared. Su Chen turned his head and saw that the person who came was a tall and thin man in his 50s or 60s. This person's eyes were firm, and he was intimidating without anger. At this moment, he was looking at Yuzin Bei and Zhu Guodong coldly with anger on his face. When Gao Pengfei saw this person, his face suddenly became overjoyed. He shouted in surprise, "Captain of the guard, you're back." Su Chen was stunned. The thin old man in front of him turned out to be Li Changfeng, the chief of the Tiger Guard of Dongzhou province. Su Chen had heard of his reputation a long time ago, but today was the first time he saw him. Li Changfeng, why are you here? A trace of anger flashed in Yu Zinbei's eyes. Although Li Changfeng is the chief of the Qinhu Guard of Dongzhou province, he has been busy with other important matters. On ordinary days, he rarely appears in the Qinhu Guard base. Why did he come back today? Moreover, it is at such a critical time. Zhu Guodong was also furious. It is difficult to deal with just Su Chen. If Li Changfeng intervenes again, it is probably difficult to get the desired result today. Li Changfeng, if you don't want to cause trouble for yourself, stay here. Zhu Guodong said angrily. Haha. Li Changfeng sneered. Good. What a great Qinhu guard. What a big tone. You dare to speak rudely when you arrest people in my territory? Who taught you the rules? Li Changfeng's cold eyes fell on Zhu Guodong. Seeing Li Changfeng's attitude, Zhu Guodong's face darkened. He shouted, Li Changfeng, I'm the inspector of the inspection office of the Tiger Guard in Shangjing. How dare you stop me? Haha. Li Changfeng sneered disdainfully. Just an inspector, is that so great? The power of the inspection office of the Tiger Guard is indeed great. However, it is definitely not unrestrained. The inspection office has the responsibility of inspection, but it cannot be lawless. As the head of the Tiger Guard in Dongzhou province, Li Changfeng is naturally not afraid of this person. What's more, Zhu Guodong and Yu Zinbei are in collusion, and Li Changfeng will not give in. Seeing that Li Changfeng did not give him face at all, Zhu Guodong's face turned cold. He shouted angrily, Li Changfeng, get out of my way. Otherwise, don't blame me for being merciless and charging you with the crime of harboring criminals and obstructing public affairs. Li Changfeng smiled coldly. Haha. Merciful? When Inspector Zhu arrested my consultant of the Dongzhou Qinhu Guard and killed Gao Pengfei, the leader of the rat group, did he ever show mercy to me? Li Changfeng. Zhu Guodong was speechless. If he could kill Su Chen, he wouldn't care about Li Changfeng's feelings. Although Li Changfeng was also a high-ranking official, but Zhu Guodong mostly stayed in Beijing and didn't need to show him any mercy. Li Changfeng looked at Zhu Guodong coldly. I would like to ask Inspector Zhu to tell me in detail, what crime did Consultant Su commit? His face was stern and his tone was quite aggressive. Zhu Guodong pointed at Su Chen and said angrily, Su Chen is lawless and killed Chen Zifeng, the deputy chief of the Tiger Guard. With such a crime, can't I kill him? On the side, Yu Zinbei also echoed. Also, Liu Shaohang of the Liu family in Shangjing was seriously injured by Su Chen's violence. Li Changfeng's face darkened slightly, and he turned to look at Su Chen. Su Chen snorted coldly, why don't you explain why I did this? Liu Shaohang, as a warrior, sent people to attack and kill Zhou Wanqiu of the Bincheng Zhou group. He was the first person to break the law with force. And Chen Zifeng abused his power for personal gain, mixed with the Liu family in Jinglin Villa, and even held Zhou Wanqiu, an ordinary person, hostage. Everything I did was to fulfill my duties as a Tiger Guard. Li Changfeng narrowed his eyes. He looked at Zhu Guodong and Yu Zinbei coldly. What else do you have to say? Zhu Guodong said angrily. This is just Su Chen's one-sided statement. Su Chen said coldly, one-sided statement? Haha. The people sent by Liu Shaohang to attack Zhou Wanqiu have all been captured by me and can be handed over to Li Weichang for trial at any time. And Chen Zifeng attacked Zhou Wanqiu in public, and the staff of the Tiger Group, the Martial Alliance, and the Kunying Entertainment City can all prove it. There are witnesses and evidence for these things. A little investigation will reveal the truth. Li Changfeng smiled and said, it seems that Consultant Su is the one who upholds justice. Zhu Guodong and Yu Zinbei looked at each other. Their faces were extremely ugly. If Li Changfeng came a step later and waited for them to kill Su Chen first and then report, even if Su Chen was right, he would have nothing to say. No one would make things difficult for the inspection department for a dead person. But now, Li Changfeng not only came, but also did not give them any face at all. This is difficult. Zhu Guodong's heart was boiling with anger. Yu Zinbei's arrival gave him a chance. But, Li Changfeng also came. This time, the situation between the two sides fell into a delicate balance again. Chapter 725. Improve your memory. Li Changfeng, what is Su Chen's crime? As the inspector of the Tiger Guard Inspection Division, I will investigate impartially. You are trying to stop me in every way. Do you really want to go against my inspection division? Zhu Guodong brought up the inspection division to suppress Li Changfeng. At the same time, he mobilized his vitality with the momentum of starting a war if he disagreed. Li Changfeng sneered. Haha. What a big tone. Even if the Tiger Guard Inspection Division investigates, it has no power to arrest people by force. Don't you want to investigate? I'll let you investigate. But if you want to kill first and report later, frame someone, I'll be the first to disagree. Before Su Chen's crime is confirmed, who dares to arrest my Dongzhou Province Tiger Guard consultant? That is to declare war on my Dongzhou Province Tiger Guard. Zhu Guodong was tough, and Li Changfeng did not give in. Zhu Guodong was very upset. This Li Changfeng was so difficult to deal with, not giving him any face. When had he ever suffered such a cowardice? In the past, the patrol inspector of the Tiger Guard was like an imperial envoy holding the imperial sword. Every time he inspected the Tiger Guards in various places, he was always respectful wherever he went. What do you mean? Li Changfeng said expressionlessly. Patrol Inspector Zhu, don't forget, this is the East Continent Tiger Guards. And I'm the chief of the East Continent Tiger Guards. If my people commit crimes and violate the rules, I will punish them. There is no need for an outsider like you to come and make decisions. Zhu Guodong's eyes widened with anger. Li Changfeng ignored him and turned around and pointed at Yu Zhenbei. And you, Yu Zhenbei. Yu Zhenbei was startled and then asked in a cold voice, what's wrong with me? What's wrong with you? Li Changfeng was full of disdain. You still have the nerve to ask what's wrong? Just now, I saw with my own eyes that you wanted to kill Gao Pengfei to threaten Su Chen. I want to ask, Gao Pengfei is the leader of the rat group of the Tiger Guard of Dongzhou Province. What crime has he committed? Can you, a powerful man in the God realm, kill him personally? Yu Zhenbei's mouth twitched. He argued, I was just pretending to force Su Chen to come back. I don't really want to kill Gao Pengfei. On the side, Gao Pengfei was so angry that his lungs were about to explode. Yu Zhenbei's words were pure fart. Just now, this bastard didn't hold back at all. If Su Chen hadn't acted in time, he would have died without a doubt. Li Changfeng was not a fool and naturally didn't believe Yu Zhenbei's words. He sneered, you should keep these words to deceive children. Yu Zhenbei's face stagnated. He turned and looked at Zhu Guodong, and both of them looked embarrassed. Before, when Li Changfeng was not around, they did whatever they wanted. Now that Li Changfeng, the real boss, has appeared, they can never mess around again. Li Changfeng looked at the two with contempt and said domineeringly, get out of Dongzhou Province's Tiger Capture Guard. We don't welcome you here. Li Changfeng showed no mercy and cursed them directly in the face. Su Chen was surprised and looked at Li Changfeng. The chief of the Dongzhou Province's Tiger Capture Guard is really tough. Yu Zhenbei's face turned green and red. However, he didn't dare to act rashly. The strength of the Dongzhou Tiger Capture Guard is indeed not very good. But the chief of the Dongzhou Tiger Capture Guard, Li Changfeng, is extremely powerful. Yu Zhenbei looked at Zhu Guodong, wanting to see what he had in mind. Zhu Guodong's face was as gloomy as water, and his pair of sinister eyes were full of murderous intent. Li Changfeng, are you sure you want to break up with my inspection division and Dragon Slayer Guard just for Su Chen? Li Changfeng smiled coldly, so what if we break up? He said coldly, you came to my Dongzhou Tiger Capture Guard, and you turned the tables. You want to kill people and arrest people. Haven't you broken up long ago? Zhu Guodong was speechless. He didn't expect that Li Changfeng was so eloquent. Li Changfeng's face sank. What? Why don't you get out? Do you want me to keep you for dinner? The next moment, a strong desire to fight enveloped Zhu Guodong and Yu Zhenbei. Li Changfeng, if I insist on taking him away, what will you do? Zhu Guodong gritted his teeth. After thinking about it, he was still unwilling to give up this opportunity. Moreover, Zhu Guodong didn't want to give Su Chen time to grow. The fight with Su Chen just now had made him sure that Su Chen had a demonic talent. Such an enemy must be strangled in the cradle. Take Su Chen away. Li Changfeng sneered. You can try. Let's see if I, Li, can teach you a lesson. Zhu Guodong glanced at Li Changfeng and thought quickly in his heart. The next second, Zhu Guodong shouted, "Inspector Yu, let's work together to take down Su Chen." Li Changfeng's eyebrows jumped. You dare? He had never thought that these two bastards would still choose to force their way in, even though he was already there. Although his personal strength is stronger than Yu Xinbei and Zhu Guodong. But if these two people join forces, even he may not get any benefits. Attack. Zhu Guodong suddenly gave the order, and then he rushed towards Su Chen like lightning. Yu Xinbei also reacted quickly. He followed Zhu Guodong's movements and attacked Su Chen together. The two of them were much stronger than Su Chen. With such a surprise attack, it is very likely that Su Chen will be seriously injured. After killing Su Chen, Li Changfeng will be angry and there is nothing he can do. You are looking for death. Li Changfeng was furious. These two people are too arrogant. Li Changfeng went to stop them, but it was too late. Zhu Guodong punched out, and a storm of metal energy erupted. Even if you look at it from a distance, you will feel a stinging pain in your body. In front of Yu Xinbei, a sea of fire as hot as magma condensed. The two attacked from both sides. The terrifying energy poured towards Su Chen together. Su Chen frowned. Even if he was confident in his own strength, he didn't dare to fight these two people head on. Zhu Guodong and Yu Xinbei are both in the middle stage of the divine realm. Such masters are already top level masters in Dongzhou, and they are extremely rare. Ordinary warriors, let alone being besieged by two such masters, can meet one is a blessing from 8 lifetimes. If you fight with these two people at the same time, it is not confidence, but stupidity. Whoosh. Golden light appeared under his feet. Su Chen used the golden light to break the pressure of the two people's energy and narrowly avoided their attacks. Boom. The terrifying metal storm and the hot energy slammed fiercely on the open space. Bang. A huge explosion sounded. The whole earth was shaking wildly. For a moment, the gravel flew and the dust splashed. A deep pit several meters in size was blown out on the ground. Arsehole. Slippery as a loach. Yu Xinbei and Zhu Guodong were furious when they saw that Su Chen had dodged. On the side, Li Changfeng was even more furious when he saw that the two actually made a move. These two people actually ignored his words. Arsehole. Today, I'm going to teach you a lesson. Li Changfeng was furious. He cursed and rushed towards Zhu Guodong. The third update is here. The update is over. Good night everyone. Thank you for your support and wish you all a good dream. End of this chapter. Thank you very much for reaching the end. Don't forget to like. Looking for more exclusive content and immediate access? Subscribe to our Patreon. Remember, every like, subscription, or donation encourages us to continue. Thanks to everyone. See you in the next video.